I'm so looking forward to our wedding. I can't wait to be married to you, Todd. I love you so much.
Me too, I can't wait either. Really looking forward to it.
Yes, that's right. Ah, isn't it romantic that we're having our wedding as the same day as the registration date of our marriage?
Yes, I agree.
And I want there to be the option of exiting at the last minute.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing. Just ignore what I said. It was a comment about our wedding plan. Totally not your concern. And I can't wait to put on my wedding gown either. I bet I'm going to look gorgeous as always.
I'm sure that you will, babe. You're stunning.
Hold on a second. Are you only marrying me for my looks? That better not be the only reason.
Of course it's not the only reason. I love everything about you. You make me laugh and I'm at ease when I'm with you.
I'm glad to hear that. Your salary isn't the only reason why I'm marrying you, Harold.
Did you just call me Harold? Who the hell is Harold?
Oops! Sorry. Wrong name. I meant to say your name, Todd. I love other things about you, too.
Did you just mistake me for someone else? Isn't Harold your ex-boyfriend's name?
Really? Was it? I don't remember anymore. The guy I was dating before you, his name was Gonzo. Isn't that such a unique name?
I guess so. But I remember very clearly about you telling me that your ex-boyfriend's name was Harold. This is the first time I've ever heard about Gonzo.
Well, it's all in the past, so you have nothing to worry about. It was a billion years ago, and I've completely forgotten about them, so you should too. You're the one that I'm marrying, Todd. Let's not talk about my past boyfriends anymore. Let's talk about our future together.
I'd like to, but it kinda bums me out that you mistook me for one of your ex-boyfriends.
I'm sorry about that, but don't fret about it because it was nothing. Be a man. I fell in love with you because you're strong and manly.
Okay, fine. It's in the past then. I'll stop worrying about your ex-boyfriends. So, about moving into our new house together next week, have you packed up all your things? I feel like we haven't spent any time together at my place in a while.
Yes, I've packed my things. I haven't been able to come over to your place recently because I was getting ready for our big move. Why are you being so paranoid right now?
Well, I received a weird letter the other day.
A letter from who?
And I feel like someone's been following me around and watching my every move. It's really creeping me out. I'm moving out of this place soon, so I'm not worried about that, but I think it's best that you don't come over to my place anymore. I'm only going to be living here for another week, and from next week we'll be living together, so...
Okay, sure. You're right, that is creepy. Make sure you call the police if you think something bad is going on. It's a scary world.
Thanks, Melanie. I'll be careful. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then. What the hell are you doing with my girlfriend? Who the hell is this? It doesn't matter. I'm asking you to break up with the girl that you're seeing right now. She belongs with me! Where is this coming from? I don't know who you are and it's creeping me out. Stop messaging me. Melanie belongs with me! Wait, are you the one who's been following me around these days and sending me those letters? Tell me your name. Why should I? I'm asking you to stay away from Melanie! Are you Harold by chance? You used to date Melanie, right? Used to? What do you mean by that? Melanie told me that you're forcing her to marry you. She doesn't want to though because she's in love with me. Are you stalking Melanie? She told me that you guys broke up a long time ago. This has nothing to do with me. You shouldn't be messaging me like this. It's not my fault that Melanie chose to marry me and not you. You need to get over her. That's not true. She's only marrying you for your money. Did Melanie tell you that? You shouldn't be spreading malicious lies just because you're upset about the fact that Melanie dumped you. Please stop harassing me like this. I've never done anything bad to you. Melanie and I are going to get married and that's that. I know that you two are getting married, but that doesn't mean that Melanie and I will stop seeing each other. What? On paper, you'll be Melanie's husband, but I'm still the love of her life. I don't understand what you're saying. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sure that Melanie wants nothing to do with you. You need to leave us alone. I think you're the one that doesn't get it. You're totally clueless. Melanie and I were together last night as well. What the hell?
I'm sorry about my ex-boyfriend. I had no idea that he still had feelings for me. I hope that he didn't hurt you too badly.
What do you want me to say? I can't believe that we're having this conversation on our wedding day. He punched me in the face on the day of my wedding. He's crazy. He's not going to let me forget about this because my swollen face is going to be all over our wedding photos.
I'm sure that Harold got all his anger out of his system now. He won't be bothering us anymore.
How can you be so optimistic? This isn't even close to being over yet. I'm really pissed off about what Harold did to me. I'm not going to forgive him for it.
Just let it go. It's not worth it. Let's enjoy our wedding. Let's not let this ruin the day that we've both been looking forward to. I'm sure that Harold feels bad about punching you.
I highly doubt that. Why are you taking his side anyway?
I'm not. I just don't want to see the two of you fighting on our wedding day. You don't need to fight over me. I'm marrying you, Todd. You have nothing to worry about.
I'm not fighting. Harold's the one that punched me in the face. I'm completely innocent.
I guess he got carried away. He still loves me, it seems. It's not his fault.
How can you say that? You're crazy.
Let's forget this ever happened. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Now let's get ready for our wedding. I want to make this a fun day.
You don't get it. There's no way that we're going ahead with this wedding. I don't want to go out in front of guests looking like this. And it doesn't make sense that Harold still has such strong feelings for you.
What?
I mean, you seem to totally be taking Harold's side here. I'm starting to think that you still have feelings for him, too.
I am not taking his side. How many times do I have to tell you that? But if you look at it from Harold's perspective, you did kind of steal me away from him, right?
I don't think so. You told me that you had already broken up with Harold when we met. I had no idea that Harold was still in the picture. You tricked me into believing that wasn't the case.
Whatever. Who cares about the small details, right? But now Harold is trying to get over me. Isn't that enough?
What do you mean by enough? I can't believe that you're letting your ex-boyfriend ruin our wedding. This is your fault, too. I had the wedding staff tell our guests that our wedding has been called off.
How could you do that without consulting me first? We've been planning for this day for months. You're crazy.
You're the one that's crazy, not me.
What do you mean by that?
Did you think that I wouldn't get mad about this because I'm usually a nice guy? I'm glad that I called off that wedding. I don't want to marry you anymore. I'm not going to put up with your crap any longer. I've had enough.
But you didn't have to cancel the wedding. I was really looking forward to this day.
And I'm going to sue Harold for what he did to me. I had no idea that you were having an affair with him this entire time. And I'm glad I found out what kind of woman you really are before making the mistake of marrying you.
An affair? What are you talking about?
Don't try to play innocent. I know that you were seeing Harold behind my back. That's why he was so mad about us getting married. I was an idiot for trusting you. I'm not going to be making the same mistake of being fooled by you anymore.
You're not making any sense, Todd. Things between Harold and I are over. I'm not seeing him or having an affair with him.
Are you sure about that? Harold sent me a recent photo of the two of you spending time at his place. The photo is real, and I know now that he was telling me the truth.
Why would Harold do such a thing? I thought that he wanted me to be happy.
I didn't want to believe it at first, but you only chose to marry me for my money. What Harold told me was true. You're the one that's been lying to me the entire time. I know the two of you were planning to continue seeing each other even after we got married. I don't want to hear any of your excuses.
Wait, you've got it all wrong. I didn't mean to hurt you like this. You have to believe me. Harold's lying to you.
I know the truth. You can't lie your way out. Besides, I saw you.
What did you see?
I saw you going over to Harold's place. I followed you there a couple of times to make sure that what Harold told me was true.
Why didn't you say something to me when you found out then? It's not what it looks like.
Whatever, I don't care anymore. You know that it's too late to fix our relationship. It's over between us, so why don't you come clean?
Okay, fine. I admit that Harold and I have been seeing each other from time to time, but it's not my fault.
Huh?
I was lonely because you were always so busy with work to come see me. The thing with Harold was temporary. I was planning to break up with him as soon as we got married. It's not as bad as you thought, right?
I'm sorry, but I realized that things were over between us the minute that I found out you were cheating on me with Harold.
But...
Are you so naive that you thought I would actually forgive you for this? There's no way I'm going to forgive you, and I'm not going to marry you either. I want you to pick up all the stuff that you have at my place.
But I just finished moving in! Are you kicking me out?
I am. I don't want to live under the same roof as you.
Where am I supposed to live? I gave up my old apartment already!
Why don't you stay with Harold then? I'm sure that he'd be happy to have you. I mean, I know that you enjoy being with Harold more than me. That's why you kept on making excuses for him and taking his side. I'm the unlucky one. I got cheated on and then your stupid boyfriend punched me in the face on my wedding day.
I'm sorry if I hurt you. I didn't mean to take Harold's side.
I'm sick and tired of listening to your lies and excuses. By the way, I notified the police about Harold punching me in the face, so he's probably going to get arrested, which means you'll have to wait until he gets released.
What? You reported this to the police? Did you have to go and do that? I thought that we agreed not to make a big deal out of this.
You decided that, not me. You didn't ask me for my opinion. You didn't care about my feelings at all. What Harold did was a crime and he needs to pay for it. I'm the victim here.
Why are you trying to make Harold look like a monster?
Well, it's the truth, so deal with it. There's no point in us talking about this anymore. You're going to regret that fact that you chose a violent man over me. I already regret the fact that I wasted my time on a woman who was two-timing me. I'm so glad that I was able to cancel our wedding. I hope that you have a nice life with Harold.
This totally blows. I was about to get married to you and now I've lost everything.
I knew that something was going on the minute you called me Harold by mistake, but I had no idea that it would end up with me getting sucker punched in the face. I'm glad that I didn't end up marrying the wrong woman for me, though.
Wait! Don't leave me, Todd. I thought that you loved me. You can't just cancel our wedding and bolt. What will my parents think of me?
Who knows? They might want to cut you off, but it's not my problem. Deal with it on your own. I mean, you made the mess.
What will my friends think as well? This is so embarrassing.
Then how about you marry Harold today? You're more than welcome to use the venue. I really don't care anymore. I do expect you to pay me palimony and cover the costs of our canceled wedding, though. That's the least that you could do after everything you've put me through.
Are you being serious right now? I don't have that kind of money. Let's just get married as planned, Todd. That's the best thing to do here. I can't imagine my life without you. I'm not gonna break up with you ever.
Shut up, Melanie! You don't have a say in this! I've already made up my mind.
But...
I want nothing to do with you anymore. Now leave me alone! Go and tell your parents that our wedding's been canceled. If you don't pack up your things and move out, then I'll just throw everything out. Enjoy the rest of your life with Harold the criminal.
Melanie had to let her parents know that her marriage and wedding to Todd had been canceled. When they found out the reason why this happened, they cut Melanie off. As for Harold, he had committed other crimes in the past and was arrested. Melanie lost everything. Todd, her family, her job, and a place to live. She was forced to regret her poor choices and work hard to pay back the money that she owed to Todd. She asked Todd to take her back several times, but Todd had no intentions of doing so. He eventually cut her out of his life and moved to a different town so that she couldn't get in touch with him anymore. Todd was very wise to break up with Melanie.
Hey, Monica, I just remembered something and I wanted to check. Your mom's a single mom, right? She hasn't remarried recently, has she?
Why are you asking about my mom all of a sudden? Yeah, she hasn't remarried since my dad. Do you think she should get remarried? I think she's doing pretty fine by herself.
So she's still single. This is really bad.
What? I don't understand what's so bad about it. You should know why she won't remarry. What does her being single have to do with anything?
We're meeting my parents tomorrow, remember? I was thinking about it, and your mom came to mind, and, well, my dad doesn't like that sort of thing.
What do you mean, that sort of thing? I don't understand what you're trying to say. Can you be a bit more specific so I can understand? Though, I have a feeling I'm not going to be happy about it.
My dad doesn't like single mother families.
What? Dean! Don't be silly! Are you just messing around so I won't feel as nervous about meeting him tomorrow? Thanks, but be a little more serious, will you? Tomorrow's really important for us.
No, I'm being completely serious. He doesn't like families that are kind of, incomplete. He doesn't accept them as being real families. He believes that the ideal is a nuclear family. He's always saying that single mothers should at least make an effort to remarry and have a man in the house, and that otherwise they're just being lazy. I know that it's ridiculous, and of course I don't agree with him, but it might be a good idea to not tell him about your mom.
What? You're not joking? That is beyond ridiculous. Make an effort to remarry? Maybe he'll change his mind when he finds out the reasons some women choose not to remarry. Also, you realize that we're going to meet them tomorrow to tell them about our engagement, right? Do you really think that we can hide the truth for our entire marriage after we lie about my mom's relationship status? And in the first place, why should we have to lie about my family? I accept your family as it is, and you should do the same. I can't believe your dad still actually thinks like that. And even if it's difficult for him to change the way he thinks, fine, that's his opinion. But there's no reason why it should affect the way you choose to live.
Yeah, I know, but my dad is strict about that kind of stuff. You don't understand because you haven't met him yet. If you want to get married, you'll have to keep quiet about it, okay? Please, it just makes things complicated if he finds out about your mom.
Dean, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. It's impossible. He's bound to find out sooner or later, and it'll get even more complicated when he does. He'll feel as though we tricked him into accepting me as his family. Don't you think it would be much worse than telling him straight that he'll have to accept that not everyone has a dad? So, I'm going to tell him the truth. If he doesn't like it, then fine. That won't change how we feel about each other, right?
What? You're gonna tell him? Monica, I really don't think that's a good idea. I don't think we should tell him. If we tell him, there's no telling what he might do.
Dean, do you really want to marry me? If you love me for who I am and accept me how I am, then isn't that good enough for your parents? Are you really happy to lie about me when you introduce me to your dad? 'Cause I think it's wrong. It's not fair to me, and it's not fair to your dad. You just want to lie now so that you can avoid conflict, but down the line, there will be conflict anyway if you lie to him.
Well, yeah, you might be right. I understand where you're coming from, I really do. It's just that you really don't know my dad. Trust me, it's better if we don't tell him anything.
What are you so afraid of? You're not going to be alone when you tell him. I'll be right there with you. We're doing this together, remember?
Yeah, I know that. I've always been scared of my dad. And what he thinks of me, what he might think if I don't do things the way he wants. That's why I've always done my best to make sure that he stays happy. And I've avoided doing things that he might not approve of.
I get that it's hard to go against your dad's wishes, but this is your life. And it's going to be our life together. Do you really want to ruin our first step together by lying to your dad? I don't. So let's tell him. It'll be okay. I'm going to have dinner and get ready for tomorrow. So I'll message you tomorrow morning. I'm looking forward to it.
Please don't say anything unnecessary tomorrow.
Unnecessary? Are you being serious? You think that telling the truth about my mom is unnecessary? Whatever. Dean, I'm going to be myself when I see your dad tomorrow. I hope that you'll sort out your priorities tonight, and we'll come to see that that's the best way forward too, for both of us.
You've got some nerve thinking that some worthless girl like you has any right to marry my son. You're beneath him, do you understand me? You were brought up by a single mother. If you don't have a father, then that makes you inferior. I don't know what got into Dean and made him think that it would be okay to marry scum like you, but I know that it's all your fault. You must have seduced him. I wouldn't be surprised, since that must be the reason why your mother got pregnant with you, and the reason why you don't have a father.
Can you hear yourself? You're talking nonsense. You don't know a single thing about me and my mom. You're saying that I must have seduced him because my mother is single right now? What you're saying is so irrational, I don't even know how to explain how wrong you are. And you're the scum here. Do you understand what you did?
Let me make this easier for someone like you to understand. You must have heard from Dean that I run a company, right? What I'm trying to say is my son is the heir to the business. One day he's going to be running my company, and I can't just let him marry a woman beneath him. It would ruin the reputation my company has. I guess my warnings about the type of woman he should choose to marry weren't enough for him. I'm disappointed that he let himself be caught by a woman like you, but that's more your fault than it is his. To think that he would actually bring a woman that doesn't even have a father. I'm surprised you actually thought that I would accept you as my daughter-in-law. You must be really underestimating me. I own a company. You could never meet my standards.
You're the one that's underestimating me. Do you really think I'll let you get away with this? I can't believe someone like you actually exists. I never once imagined that I would be punched by my own fiancé's father. And just because I told you that my mother is currently living alone, you didn't even let me tell you why my dad isn't with us. And you think you can say that I'm going to ruin your company's reputation? You've already ruined it yourself, if anything. You're a danger to society if you think it's okay to use violence to convey how you feel about something.
For a woman like you, a little discipline is necessary in order to keep you in place. People like you don't understand that things are common sense to company owners and powerful men like me, so you need to be taught things the hard way, with pain. Do you understand now why you're not good enough for my son?
A little discipline? Do you understand that I needed stitches for the cut that I got when you hit me?
What? Seriously? You needed stitches for that? I didn't even hit you that hard. How fragile are you? This is why women like you are so problematic. You start playing the victim when all I was doing was giving you a lesson on life, and your place in it!
It's not a matter of how hard you hit me. The problem is that you shouldn't have hit me at all. It's unforgivable. You don't seem to understand the gravity of the situation, so let me make it easy for someone like you to understand. You are going to regret what you did for the rest of your life. I'll make sure you answer for it. I swear. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to end you. You can say goodbye to your reputation, because you and your company are going down.
What are you talking about? What can someone like you do to a CEO like me? Were you planning on reporting it to the police and pressing charges? Maybe cry to the press and get some interviews? Hoping to get some compensation in the process? I advise you not to. You're too poor. Do you really think that someone of your meager means can stand up to a man like me? Do you need me to give you another lesson on your place in society? Because it looks like the first one didn't get through so well.
Are you threatening me so that I don't report you? You're despicable.
No, I'm telling you that if you don't press charges, you won't need it. But you know what? I'm feeling better than I did earlier. I guess that I got everything out of my system when I hit you. It's a shame that you're still not good enough for him, but I'll let you marry Dean. Happy now? I'm welcoming you to my family, so don't report anything to the police. Otherwise, you'll be the one to regret it.
What? So now you'll accept me as your daughter-in-law? Just so that you won't get reported to the police? You are threatening me, after all. All you've done since we met a few hours ago is try to intimidate me and use violence to control me. And you think that that will work?
Of course it will. Someone like you doesn't have any other choice but to follow my orders. And you want to marry my son, don't you? Then that's even more reason for you to not report me. I don't think Dean will be happy if his fiancée gets his own father arrested, especially if he understands that I only taught you a lesson for his sake. The second you report me to the police, your engagement to Dean is over. I won't let him marry an uneducated, disobedient woman like you. You should be more thankful. I'm giving you a chance. You wanted to be the wife of a CEO one day, didn't you? You can be if you do as I say. But if you report me, that dream of yours will be over. And I'll crush you so hard that you'll wish you'd never stood up to me in the first place. Are you really okay with that? I can't promise that your mother won't be affected by the pressure I put on you.
You're a terrible person. I can't believe that you'd try to use Dean and my mother against me just so that I won't report you to the police. Just because you own a company and have some money doesn't mean that you can use other people's weaknesses to control them. But thankfully, neither Dean nor my mother are my weaknesses. You can dangle my engagement to Dean in front of me all you want, but I have no intention of getting hooked. So, how about you apologize to me properly?
What, you want me to apologize? For what? I have nothing to apologize for, the least of all to you. I haven't done anything wrong.
You assaulted me, Marvin. I think it's a matter of course that you apologize and pay for what you've done. Well, even if you do apologize, nothing will change my mind about reporting you. But don't you think you should show more sincerity? Honestly, if you're like this in your personal life, I can't imagine what you must be like to work under. I suggest you apologize right now, before this affects your company.
What are you talking about? How can this affect my company? I told you, even if you report me, you can't win against me. You're just a poor girl from a family without a father. What could you possibly achieve in a court case against me, when I can afford the best lawyers and can afford to ruin you and your mother? There's no point threatening me when you have nothing on me. I'm telling you, I'll let you marry my son, so you should think of this as me giving you a second chance. Why don't you show me some gratitude? Or are you too uneducated to do even that? I'm warning you, don't file that report to the police. You'll lose Dean, your future, everything. Don't underestimate my influence. Do you really want to do something so reckless? You have no chance against me.
You're the one that's threatening me.
Clearly you don't understand the power of money. Even if you did report me to the police, I can easily shut it down with my wealth. That's why you should do as I say, and thank me for allowing you to marry Dean. Now that's decided, we're family, and you can't report me to the police. Do you understand?
So, let me get this straight. You really think that it was okay to punch me because I'm from a single mother household? You must be out of your mind. What problem do you have with single mothers? Were you brought up by a single mother yourself? And she happened to be less motherly than you expected her to be? And that made you despise the idea? Because if that's the case, I might be more sympathetic towards you. But I still have to tell you you're wrong.
I don't despise single mothers. I just don't think that they're good enough to raise successful children. I was raised in a proper family, thank God, and look at me now. As for you, what do you have? In a worst-case scenario, you might have become a criminal. I don't like the idea of a woman like you getting close to my son, but I'll close my eyes to your faults. It's a shame that I couldn't find a worthier woman for him, but I'll let you marry Dean. You'll have to hide your background, of course, so keep that in mind. If you let anyone know the truth, it'll ruin my reputation.
I don't understand what you're talking about. You seriously think that people knowing about my mother being single will be more damaging to you than the fact that you punched me?
You still don't understand? Do I really have to spell it out for you? I punched you because I couldn't forgive the idea of a woman like you having the nerve to think that you could ever be good enough for my son. But luckily for you, I'm going to give you a chance. You can marry him as long as you don't report anything to the police.
You're telling me to keep quiet? And you expect me to accept you as my father-in-law even though you punched me?
I'm telling you to do as I say, it's simple! Someone like you doesn't have the power to think or do anything for herself anyway, so just follow my orders.
You must be an idiot if you think that I'm just going to say yes and continue as though nothing ever happened.
What did you say?
I'm saying that you've really pissed me off, and I have no intentions of obeying your ridiculous orders, you piece of trash. I'm going to get my revenge and make you experience hell for what you did to me.
What are you talking about? You can't do anything to me. You're the one who should take care not to anger me. I can end you. I only have to give the word. A woman like you isn't allowed to stand up to a powerful man like me. I can crush you without lifting a finger. Not to mention that I can make things difficult for your mother, too.
Do you really think you can do something like that? You should think a little more carefully before you make such irresponsible comments. I don't want to marry your son anyway, so I'm going to report you to the police. I told you, you can't use Dean as bait to coerce me into doing anything.
What? Weren't you listening to what I said? Or are you so stupid that you've already forgotten? I'll let you marry him. There's no point in threatening me, because I can ruin you. You'll regret ever talking back to me. You'll be begging me for mercy.
You're the one that's going to be begging me for forgiveness when you realize what punching me will cost you. And why on earth would you think that I would still want to marry Dean? I don't want him, and you can keep him. Find some other woman that's willing to marry a coward like that.
I'm giving you my approval! I'm allowing you to marry him! How can you say that you don't want to marry him anymore? A woman like you doesn't get to reject my son. You should be the one that gets thrown away! But I'm being gracious enough to allow you to. Don't you want to become the wife of a CEO? You'll lose the chance to become rich and live comfortably. You'll lose all of that if you dare report me to the police.
Whoever said I wanted to become a CEO's wife and live rich? That's all your imagination. That's what you think I want because you're prejudiced against people who only have a single parent. Besides, even if I wanted to become the CEO of a wee company like yours, there's a limit to how rich I could get. I hear that your company is on the verge of bankruptcy, and it's my understanding that it's got something to do with the better-than-thou attitude you're always dragging around.
What did you say? Did you just call my company weak? My company? You don't know the first thing about what it takes to run a company. Don't talk to me like that!
Of course I'm talking about your company. Who else is there to talk to on this chat? So, no matter how many times you say that you'll allow me to marry Dean, thanks, but no thanks. I don't want him. He didn't even try to stand up for me when you punched me. He sat there, looking uncomfortable. I suppose that's how you've raised him, to never stand up to you. But I never thought that he would just sit and watch me get punched and not even try to stop you. I was shocked at the time, but I realized that he's always been like that and he'll never change. I'm not shocked or sad anymore, just disappointed. And I can't marry a man like that, so keep him. I already let him know, and he made quite the fuss about it, but nothing's going to bring me back. Are we clear on that?
You're not going to marry him? Then what was the point of me giving you my approval? You can't be serious. You don't have the right to reject him. You're going to marry my son, and that's final. You don't have the right to argue back to me.
This conversation's going around in circles. At first, you were refusing to even accept me as your son's fiancé, and then you found out that I was planning to report you to the police, and you began to insist that I had no choice but to marry Dean. You're just saying whatever suits you at that point in time. Who in their right mind would want to marry a man like that and become the daughter-in-law to a man like you? It looks like Dean is still sending me messages begging me to get back together, but it's meaningless. I don't even want to look at him. I don't want to spend a single second by his side. I am not marrying him, and that's my final decision. I'm going to file this report to the police, and you will answer for what you did. The both of you make me sick.
How dare you talk about my son and I like that? You're just a woman from an incomplete family. You don't have any right to talk to me like that.
Oh, before I forget, I've already given in my report to the police. I'm sure there will be someone coming to question you in the next few hours.
What? You've already told the police? You can't be serious!
It's thanks to my mother. She rushed down to see me while I was still in the hospital getting my stitches, and then she took me home. She has an acquaintance in the local police station and called them to let them know what happened. She's also prepared a lawyer to advise us on how to go forward with the case. We're ready to fight you in court.
Didn't I warn you not to do that? I told you! Even if I did take it to court, I'll crush you with my team of lawyers! Neither you nor your mom can afford a lawyer good enough to beat the people that I have lined up to defend me. You should take back those charges before it's too late. You should have just given in and married Dean when I said that I would give you my approval. You ruined your own life by doing this!
Why do you think that we're poor just because my mother is single? Really, how outdated can your brain get? There's a limit to how ignorant you can be.
I'm warning you, don't anger me any further. Say one more disrespectful thing to me and you will be finished. And on average, people with single mothers are poor.
You shouldn't let something as vague as an average influence on how you think about an entire group of people. You might be shocked to hear this, but it seems you're actually very familiar with my mother. I understand that your company has contracts with a large number of other businesses, but there's one company that you're very dependent on and rely on for 70% of your contracts. I wonder what would happen if you were to be cut off from that supply of work. Funnily enough, my mother owns that very company I'm talking about.
What?
My mother is the CEO of the company your company works for. She was furious to hear that you had assaulted me, and is saying that she plans to end all contracts with your company. I'm not surprised that she'd react like that. You gave me a cut that needed stitches with a punch that was unprovoked and can never be justified as self-defense. Of course, she wouldn't be able to forgive you as a mother and as a businesswoman that takes pride in showing integrity in and out of work. I told you that you should apologize, but you refused. And that just proved to my mother that you weren't going to change, and that you lack the responsibility expected of a company owner.
What are you talking about? There's no point trying to scare me with lies like that. It's impossible! There's no way your mother owns a company. She's not even married! How can a woman like that be running a business?
What's so wrong about a woman raising a child and running a business all by herself? And since you wouldn't let me explain earlier before you punched me, let me make it clear now. My mom always hasn't been single. My dad passed away 10 years ago, and she hasn't remarried because she hasn't found anyone she wants to marry, or loves more than she loved my dad. You undermine mothers that are single because you assume that they must be defective. But in actual fact, my mother has continued running the business that she and my father started together ever since he passed away, all while raising me, and she's been very successful. Whether single out of choice or not, single mothers can be successful and can raise wonderful children, and the opposite is also true. But don't assume that you'll always be better than them. Maybe it'll be easier for you to accept reality if I tell you that the company she owns is NE Holdings. Didn't you know that the owner was a single mother?
You're kidding. You're just making that up. You can't be her daughter. You should keep your delusions to yourself. There's no way that you could be related to her. Stop messing around.
I'm not messing around. I'm being very serious. Haven't you gotten any calls from your office yet? I'm pretty sure my mom's already made a few calls to them about canceling all of the active contracts you have. She's pretty pumped up to force your company into bankruptcy. I don't know the details, so I suggest you hurry up and contact your office and find out what's going on. I'm afraid it looks like your threats were all bark and no bite, and you'll be the one that's going to end up being crushed.
Wait a minute! I got a message from my office. They're saying that your mother canceled all the contracts that we have with her company? You gotta be joking! How am I supposed to keep our business running if we don't have any work? What have you done? You've gotta stop this! I didn't know that your mother was the owner of NE Holdings. I wouldn't have done it if I knew, I swear! You've gotta believe me! Why didn't you tell me? If only you had told me in the beginning, I would have welcomed you into my family without any argument. You should have just told me. It was your own fault for not being honest with me. Of course I wouldn't have reacted like that if I knew who you were. I mean, I just thought that you were a woman who had been brought up by a single-parent household. It's not like I punched you because I had anything against your mother. You can't do this to my company.
Marvin, how about you shut up for a second and think about what you did?
What did you say to me?
It doesn't matter who I am. You shouldn't have punched me. Who my mother is besides the point. Listen carefully. It's very simple. You shouldn't punch people. Do you understand me? Even if I was poor, even if my mother raised me by herself for part of my life, that doesn't give you any reason to punch me or anyone else. You're going to get what you deserve for punching me, and that's that. You've ruined your own reputation by assaulting me. You must be really stupid if you think that this is in any way my fault. I don't even understand how you managed to build your own business if that's the common sense you've lived by up until now. I pity the people that have to work for you. But I guess they'll be free after your company goes bankrupt and is bought up by my mother. At the very least, your employees won't have to lose their jobs because of your stupidity. It's enough to just ruin your life.
I'm very sorry.
Excuse me?
I don't know how I can apologize enough for my behavior. I shouldn't have acted on impulse like that. It was very wrong of me, and I'm sincerely very sorry for punching you. I'm sorry that I caused you so much trouble and so much injury. I wasn't thinking properly when I punched you. I wish I could take it back. I'm extremely embarrassed about my behavior, and I promise to reflect on it so something like this will never happen again. So would you please forgive me?
What are you talking about? You can't honestly think that I'll forgive you if you start apologizing now. Where was that speech when I first asked you to apologize? Why couldn't you apologize to me before you knew who my mother was? It's too late to expect me to forgive you. Unfortunately, the fact that you're only apologizing now just proves how lacking you are in sincerity. You only want to save yourself from everything that's going to happen after you lose your company. But, sadly for you, I have no intention of forgiving you. And I am not going to marry your son, so you're going to have to accept your punishment. Your company is finished. Just thinking about what I would have to suffer if I did marry Dean makes me shiver. But I'm glad I'm free of that.
Please don't do that. Forgive me, I'll do anything. Please just don't take my company away from me. It's all I have.
If you really thought that your reputation and your company was that important, you should have thought about that before you did something as stupid as punching me. Don't you understand that as a member of society, you have a responsibility to treat others with respect? And that in your position, your words and actions are scrutinized? Well, even if I warn you of that now, it's far too late. As early as tomorrow, you'll lose your company and you'll no longer be the CEO. But that has nothing to do with me anymore. You're nothing to me.
Please don't say something that cold. We were just about to become father and daughter-in-law. Dean still loves you, and he's saying that he still wants to marry you. If you could just forgive me and take him back, I think that we could become a very happy family. I can learn from my mistakes, and I'll make sure to treat you as though you're my own daughter. I'll even pay for the hospital fees and give you however much you want as compensation, anything to make you happy. Please, can't we work things out? We don't even have to involve my company, I'm begging you.
No matter how much you beg, no. We can't work things out. I already tried that, but you threw it back in my face because, according to you, I'm not worthy. Remember? You're seriously mistaken about a lot of things.
Mistaken? About what?
First of all, that either me or my mother could honestly accept an apology like that after you insulted us both so much today. And you crossed the line by punching me. You also seem to think that everything will be okay if you just apologize and act like you're sorry. But if you don't even understand why what you did was wrong, then there's nothing you can do to save yourself. You can start reflecting on your actions all you want, but it's too little, too late. Your life is over. You're going to be arrested for assault. So, I suggest you hurry up and accept that you're going to lose your position whether my mom ends contracts with your company or not.
I'm going to be arrested? Oh, that's going way too far. You're making a big deal out of nothing.
Out of nothing? Are we talking about the same nothing? The nothing I had to get stitches for? Why don't you listen to me and shut up? You're just making things worse for yourself the more you talk. You're going to be arrested, and your company is going bankrupt. Your life is over, just like I warned you it would when I first told you to apologize. And it's all your own fault. This all began because you had ridiculous prejudices against me, and mistakenly thought that they justified punching me.
Please wait! All I'm asking for is one more chance, please! I'll pay you for anything you want me to. Just please don't take my company away from me!
I'm afraid I already have money, so I don't want yours. You'll just have to do your best and deal your time in prison. You said a lot of things about single mothers and belittled them for raising problem children that would eventually turn into criminals. But it looks like men like you cause much more harm to society with your egotistical and self-righteous attitudes. What do you think? You're the man that lost his company and became a criminal in one day, despite being brought up by both parents. In the end, Marvin was reported to the police for assaulting Monica and was arrested soon after. Monica's mother used her powers at NE Holdings to cancel all the contracts that they had with Marvin's company and bought up his company when they went bankrupt. Marvin's life had fallen apart before his very eyes, and he really had been shown hell. Moreover, Dean was upset that Monica wouldn't marry him, and blamed his father for everything, despite partly being at fault himself. Dean even cut ties with his own father, and wouldn't help Marvin no matter how much his father begged him to. Dean's mother also found out about what happened between Marvin and Monica later on, and demanded a divorce, saying that she was embarrassed to have married someone that would dare discriminate against single mothers. She took everything he still had to his name in the divorce, leaving him with absolutely nothing in the world. But he really only has himself to blame, since he was the one that went so far as to assault someone. He got what he deserves, so he'll just have to use this as a chance to learn how to treat other people with more respect. Alice, have you decided whether you want to move in with us?
I've told you many times, but I have no intention of living with you.
But are you sure that you're not going to regret your decision?
Yes, I'm sure I'm not going to change my mind about this.
You're sure?
How many times are you going to ask me that?
Melanie is getting married.
Oh, really? Good for her. Congratulations.
Melanie's fiancé is still young, and he doesn't make much money.
Well, I figured as much. Melanie's still young too.
And I think the two of them will be living with us.
I see. Isn't that good news for you? I'm sure you're thrilled about this. So now there's no need for you to ask us to move in with you.
I just want to make sure that you don't regret your decision later, though.
Were you even listening to what I said up until this point?
Don't you understand that Sean wants to live with us? You're the only thing holding him back. I also miss not having him around the house. Won't you reconsider? Don't you feel bad for keeping Sean from me?
What do you want me to say? Sean and I decided together that he'd be moving out of your house when we got married.
You're a mother now. You should know how I feel. How can you not sympathize with me here?
We told you that Sean would be moving out. You were okay with our decision before. What changed? Also, I don't intend on quitting my job. I love my job. Our home is close to where both Sean and I work. If we move to your place, it will take us over an hour to get to work. It just doesn't make any sense.
That is not the point. Now that you have a daughter, doesn't it make sense for you to live with us?
You're not listening to me. You're trying to make all the decisions here. You don't know what Sean really wants. Why do you assume that moving in is what he wants?
Well, Sean is kind and he cares about his parents. He can't tell you how he really feels because you'll chew him out. If you try to listen to him, he'll tell you how he's really feeling.
Well, how about you take this up directly with Sean then? You told Melanie that Sean married the wrong person. Instead of complaining to Melanie about me, why don't you let Sean know how you really feel about me?
I would, but you don't let me see him as much as I want to. If you say yes to living together, everything will work out for the better, I assure you. And if you're going to continue working, you could use help from us in raising your child.
There's a daycare at my workplace, so I don't need your help. Why are we even having this conversation right now? Melanie and her fiancé are moving in with you, so what's the problem?
Sean is our son. I want Sean to take care of us if anything should happen to us as we get older. Melanie's fiancé needs to do the same for his family, so I can't expect them to look after us. That's why it's so important to us that your family move in with us. You should stop being so selfish and think about what's important for this family. You're part of this family now, so you should follow our rules. I haven't complained until now, but it's about time that you prioritize our needs before your own. I really do think that Sean chose the wrong person to marry. I can't rely on Melanie because she's going to be part of a new family soon. If you agree to come live with us, I'll ask Melanie and her fiancé to move out so the house won't be so overcrowded.
Isn't that a bit rude? You can't do that to Melanie and her fiancé.
Well, Sean is more important to me. I'm only being nice to you because you're married to my son. And if Sean is going to move in with us, I don't even need you to move.
I see. I understand how you feel. Do you want me to divorce Sean then? Will that make you happy?
Huh?
Well, that's what you want, isn't it? I'll divorce Sean for you.
You're not making any sense.
You just told me that you didn't need me in your family. I'll speak to Sean tonight about the divorce and your wishes for this family. I don't think that he'll want to divorce me, though. He loves me too much. I'll also let Melanie know how you feel about me.
Why do we need to involve Melanie? She has nothing to do with this.
I'm going to tell her that you're going to kick her out as soon as Sean moves in with you, and that you love Sean more than her.
There's no need for you to tell her that. You'll just end up hurting her.
What about my feelings? You seem to have no problem hurting me.
You're such a bitch. You just want to pull me apart from my family. You are a monster.
I just spoke to Melanie. She told me that her father also asked her and her fiancé to move out if Sean was going to move in. She told me that she's not going to move in with you if there's a high chance she'll be kicked out soon after that.
What? She can't do that! She already promised us she'd move in!
It seems that your husband spoke to her before you did. He told her that Sean and I are moving in with you and that there was no room for her and her fiancé. She was really angry with her father after that. She has no intention of moving in with you anymore.
Well, how come Melanie didn't come to me first?
Melanie told me that she spoke to her father yesterday. I guess she's angry with you too. That's why she came to me and not you. Did you tell your husband that Sean and I were moving in with you? How could you? I've been telling you that that's not what we want.
Well, I figured I could persuade Sean to move in. And I knew that I would have to ask Melanie to move out if Sean was moving here. I didn't think she would move out right away, though. And my husband wasn't supposed to say anything to Melanie.
It's because you're being selfish and not thinking about what everyone else in this family wants. I'm sure that your husband became impatient with you and decided to let Melanie know what you were really thinking. Melanie already knows that we have no intention of moving in with you.
Well, what about what Sean wants? What if he wants to live here with us? He would want to take care of us when we're too old to take care of ourselves.
How can you assume that? You don't know anything. I don't think Sean wants to live with you. To be honest, I'm really annoyed that you keep on pestering us to move in with you. That's all you ever talk about. I'm starting to dread even seeing you face to face out of fear that you'll force us to move in with you. Melanie is also fed up with your behavior. She wants nothing to do with you anymore. As for Sean and I, we don't plan to come to see you for some time. We need a break.
Melanie would never say that about me. You're just making things up to hurt me. She may be slightly annoyed, which is why she's siding with you now, but she'll come to her senses. I know she will.
You said that Sean was more important to you than her behind her back. She was devastated when she found out.
I didn't mean it like that. She misunderstood me. I meant to say that Sean is the older one, and as the older brother, he should be responsible for looking after us. Especially since Melanie is marrying into a new family soon.
Melanie knows that you've been nagging us to move in with you. She agreed to move in with you in the first place because she felt sorry for Sean and I. She was just trying to protect us. She was really hurt when she found out that you favored Sean over her. I can totally understand why she would feel that way.
What do you mean by that? Did you also tell her that I said her fiancé doesn't earn enough money?
I didn't say anything to Melanie. She probably found out through her father. She wasn't trying to move in with you to save money, she was just being a good daughter. She was willing to look after you if Sean and I couldn't. She's your daughter. You should have known that Melanie would do something nice like this. She has a kind heart.
I didn't mean to hurt Melanie's feelings. I really did want her to move in with us. But I figured that she'd want to move out eventually. I guess I was just trying to act strong.
It just sounds like you're making a bunch of excuses. Shouldn't you be telling Melanie this directly instead of me?
Well, Melanie won't pick up my calls. I think she's very angry with me. Would you mind telling her how I really feel?
Melanie doesn't want to talk to you or hear what you have to say to her. I also showed Sean the conversation we've been having over chat up until now. He just got home from work. I thought that he ought to know how his mother was acting.
What did Sean say?
He said he'd rather cut off all ties with his parents than divorce me.
Sean would never do that to us. Sean's my son. You're lying again. He can't abandon us.
He's going to give you a call soon to talk to you directly about this. But first, he's going to talk things over with Melanie. As for me, please don't try to get in touch with me anymore. I have nothing more to say to you. You stress me out. It's not good for my mental health. By the way, I'm pregnant with my second child.
You're pregnant? When did you find out?
Yes, I'm pregnant.
Do you know if you're having a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
That's great! Now you have more the reason to move in with us.
Since Sean's going to cut all ties with you, I don't plan on introducing my new baby to you.
You can't keep me from my own grandson. That's cruel, even for you.
See, all you care about is yourself. Hasn't it ever occurred to you that we don't want to spend a minute more with you? You're stressing me and my family out.
I'm sure we can work something out. We can come up with a plan that makes everyone happy. Could you please persuade Sean and Melanie not to be so mad at me, It's all a big misunderstanding.
You can't take back the mean things you said about everyone. You're a grown-up. You, of all people, should know that. You treated me like an outsider, and you backstabbed your own daughter. You're a terrible person.
I'm so sorry. I see how wrong that was now. Please forgive me. I didn't mean any of it. Seriously.
We're not going to forget the horrible things you said about us. How about you and your husband take care of yourselves for the rest of your lives? Don't expect to be seeing your grandchildren anytime soon. Melanie and Sean talked things over and came to a mutual decision. They both wanted nothing to do with their parents. If one of their parents got sick, they would figure out what to do when the time comes. For some reason, their father was livid with their decision. But Melanie and Sean didn't care, and they continued to ignore their parents completely. The following year, Alice gave birth to a healthy baby boy. But Alice and Sean didn't go out of their way to introduce him to his grandparents. They had the decency to send Sean's parents a Christmas card informing them of the birth of their new grandson, though. If only Sean's mother hadn't been so pushy and stubborn about Alice and Sean moving in with them, things might have turned out better for everyone. We're left to wonder whether Sean, Alice, and Melanie will ever forgive Sean's parents.
I can't wait to meet your fiancé. I'm really looking forward to it. I just can't wait to come back home and see you all. Oh, yeah, I feel the same way. You know, he's aware that I'm a company president's daughter, but I don't think he has any idea that the company president is actually you. It's going to be a great surprise for him. I just hope that the new information doesn't all go to his head or anything. Oh, that's true. Since you've been overseas the entire time he's been working there, you probably don't know much about him. So what kind of person is he? How should I put it? He's kind of a carefree, playful type, but deep down he's really serious and honest, I think. And he has quite a few hobbies that he's into back at home, which I'm sure he'll tell you about. Oh, is that so? Well, that doesn't sound bad at all. Still, you used to gush about celebrities you liked, and every single one of them turned out to be involved in some scandal, either infidelity or tax evasion. So we'll see what this one's like. Are you saying I have no eye for people? That is a totally different matter. I can't help but being a little worried, you know. I mean, these days it's hard to believe that a man who's playful on the surface but serious and honest underneath even exists. That's just because you haven't met one, Mom. And let's not forget, you ended up marrying a pretty terrible man yourself. He cheated on you all the time, and he even tried to tamper with the finances of your business. You're absolutely right. My husband was trash, but don't forget you inherited half of that trash's genes. What kind of mother says that to her daughter? Seriously. Anyway, don't trust too much, not just men. Trusting anyone too much never leads to anything good. Well, coming from you, that's hard to argue with. But Rich is fine. I'm sure I can trust him. Oh, is that so? Well, if things go south, you can always just break it off. Honestly, I think it's fine to get married first and see how it goes. Wow, that's a pretty lighthearted attitude to have about marriage. Of course, marriage isn't the ultimate goal in life. Whether it's work or marriage, the ability to move on quickly is what really matters. Got it. I'll keep that in mind. See you next week then. Be safe on your way back. Sure thing. You take care too.
Excuse me, are you Maggie, the new temp? Starting with our department today, right?
Yes, I'm Maggie. Nice to meet you. I'll do my best, so I appreciate your guidance.
I like your enthusiasm. It's great to be so energetic, but, try not to overstep too much, okay?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I've been watching you all morning. You've got this overly confident, almost arrogant vibe going on. As a temp, you might want to tone that down a bit, you know?
What? Really? I didn't mean to come across that way at all.
Look, if I'm saying you seem full of yourself, then just accept it. By the way, do you know who I am? I'm the next company president.
What? Really?
Yeah, so you'd better act appropriately. Remember, I can fire you whenever I want, Maggie.
Wait a minute, I don't think you actually have that authority.
Huh? Didn't I just say I'm the next president? Of course I have the power to fire a temp like you. Don't underestimate me.
About being the next president, what exactly do you mean by that?
I'm engaged to the company president's daughter, that's what. So it's obvious I'll be the next president, get it?
That's it?
What do you mean, that's it?
Well, don't you have, like, an official recommendation or some other concrete basis for your claim?
What's your problem? Are you trying to say I'm just being cocky for no reason? I'm highly regarded in this company. My performance is excellent too. Even based on merit, I'm clearly suited to be the next president.
Is that so? But hasn't it only been about 3 years since you joined?
Shut up, you old hag! What would you know about business? How long someone's been here doesn't matter. This company values skill, okay?
Uh-huh.
And another thing, business is all about connections. Marrying the president's daughter gives me unparalleled connections. That makes me the future president. You, on the other hand, are just a temp. So go make me some tea.
Sure, I'll bring it to you.
Don't keep me waiting. I'll be in the break room. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should just go hang out in the president's office.
Huh? Why would you do that?
Because I'm the next president, duh. And the current president is technically my future mother-in-law. I have every right to use the president's office.
You really shouldn't do that.
Then why should I listen to you? Besides, the president is overseas right now. Isn't it better if I put the office to good use? So go bring the tea to the president's office. Got it?
Are you sure about this? You're about to discover something unbelievable.
What could possibly be so unbelievable? You temps are always spouting nonsense.
Even if I'm just a temp, I don't think it's acceptable for you to talk to me like this.
Oh, what do you want, an apology? Sorry, but I don't have a habit of apologizing to old hags.
But if other employees find out about this...
Then go ahead and snitch. Between the star performer of the company and some temp who just started today, whose side do you think they'll take?
But I have proof of this conversation.
Oh yeah? Go for it. Try reporting me, I dare you. Just remember, I'm the next president. I have immense power. Whatever complaint you file, I'll crush it and fire you. And at your age, finding another job isn't gonna be easy, is it?
You are awful.
Glad we're clear on that. Now just do as I say. The one with power always wins in the end. So bring that tea to the president's office. Got it?
Yes, I understand.
What's with the sniffles? Jeez, you're pathetic. Hey, what's going on here? Why is there a picture of you hanging in the CEO's office?
Ah, so you've finally entered the CEO's office then?
Yeah, this is the CEO's office. What the heck is that? Wait, don't tell me. Are you one of those people who admires the CEO so much that you're pretending to be them? You probably hung up your own picture in there to imagine what it feels like to be the boss, right?
There's no need to imagine. I am the CEO. I already know exactly what it feels like to be in charge every single day.
Wait, are you serious right now? You're actually convinced you're the CEO of this company.
From any perspective, I'm undeniably the CEO. It's not a matter of belief, it's a matter of fact.
Oh wow, this is next level delusional. I think I need to keep my distance. You're so far gone into fantasy land, it's actually scary.
If you apologize right now, I might consider forgetting this little misunderstanding. How about it?
Why would I need to apologize? You gotta be kidding me. Wow, lady, you're unbelievable. Talking to you is like trying to reason with a brick wall.
I think the one who's not making sense here is you. I have told you repeatedly, I am the CEO of this company.
There's no way I'm buying that nonsense. Enough with your ridiculous fantasies already.
In that case, I'll send you proof.
What? What is this photo? It's a picture of you and Ari together?
Yes, this is a selfie Ari and I took. It was taken right before I left for an overseas trip, at the airport to be specific.
Wait a minute. No, this can't be real. There's no way this is real, right?
What exactly are you talking about?
There's no way you're actually the CEO of this company and Ari's mother on top of that, right?
That's exactly what I've been telling you all along. Now you understand why my picture is displayed in the CEO's office, don't you?
This can't be happening. No, this is too much. Seriously, this is insane, right? It's totally insane.
Oh, absolutely. I'd say that your current situation is extremely precarious.
What? Why were you pretending to be a temp employee?
Obviously, I wanted to see what kind of man my daughter's fiancé really is. I created the persona of a temp worker, Maggie, to get close to you. And the result? Absolutely terrible.
Wait, hold on. If I had known you were the CEO, I never would have acted like that.
The fact that you treat temp workers so poorly is already a massive red flag. That is not something you can just excuse away.
No, please, I understand how bad this looks. Let's just forget this ever happened, okay?
Excuse me?
Ari and I should still get married. I'll stay on as the rising star of this company and lead it to success. How about that?
Are you being serious right now?
Yes, I'm always serious. Please, let's just move past this incident like it never occurred.
Interesting. If that's your honest proposal, do you really think I'd agree to it?
Please, I'm begging you. I need you to approve this.
You're quite an amusing man, I'll give you that. You've piqued my interest a little.
Wait, does that mean...
But my answer is no. Sorry to disappoint you.
No way! Can't you reconsider? Please, there must be something I can do.
There is absolutely nothing to reconsider. You are not suitable as a member of this company, and even less so as my daughter's fiancé.
No! I'm begging you, please! Isn't there any way to change your mind?
How many times do I have to say no? You are being incredibly persistent. You're a fascinating individual to observe from a distance, but I wouldn't want you as part of my family.
But I truly love Ari! That's why... Please, make me the CEO!
You're not even making sense anymore. Are you panicking, or was your goal all along to use Siri to become the CEO?
No, that's not it at all! It's just, I have an incredibly strong desire to lead this company! I know I can be an amazing CEO! I truly believe that!
This conversation is completely derailed. I think we're done here. Now pack up your things and get out of here immediately.
You can't be serious! Please, wait! I've been a valuable asset to this company! I've achieved so much here! How can you just discard me so easily?
To be honest, I've wanted to say this for a while. Your sales performance is the lowest in the entire department.
No way!
You might have fooled a temp worker with your lies, but do you really think you can deceive the CEO?
I see. I guess I assumed you wouldn't know because you've been overseas for so long.
Well, honesty is a good trait to have. Ari was right, you really are a bit of a smooth talker.
Really? Does that mean you'll approve of the marriage after all?
I can't believe how disconnected from reality you are. Ari must have truly poor judgment to think you're a serious and sincere man. It's almost laughable.
Wait, Ari said that about me?
Yes, she described you as reliable and trustworthy. Clearly, she couldn't have been more mistaken.
Ari! Ari, listen to me. Something terrible is happening right now. Your mother has completely misunderstood me.
Misunderstood? What do you mean?
I mean, you know how I am. Serious, responsible, and totally dependable, right? Despite all of that, your mom somehow got it into her head that I'm nothing but a lowlife.
A misunderstanding, huh? I don't think so. I've seen the messages between you and my mom. She showed them to me, and you know what? She is absolutely right. You are a lowlife.
Wait, hold on. You're taking this all wrong. It wasn't like that. You see, I just assumed she was some temp worker.
And that's the problem. Treating someone poorly because you think they're a temp worker is completely unacceptable. And let's not forget why you approached me in the first place. You were only after my family's company, weren't you? That's why you got close to me. You wanted to climb the ladder, but you didn't even know my mom was the CEO because I hid that from you.
No, it's not like that, I swear. I only found out by coincidence. This is all just one big misunderstanding, I promise.
It doesn't matter whether it's a misunderstanding or not. Either way, I can't imagine marrying someone like you. That's it. I am ending our engagement.
Harry, no! Please, you have to hear me out. I love you. I really, truly love you. You're the only person I want to be with. Please, I'm begging you. Talk to your mom for me. Convince her that my love for you is genuine.
If your love is genuine, shouldn't you be convincing me of that first? Why are you more concerned about getting my mother's approval than mine?
Well, that's because...
Because you're just trying to get back into her good graces so you can stick around at the company, aren't you? You know what? I've had it. This is the last straw. Goodbye.
Wait, please, Harry. I know I made a mistake, but I promise I'll never make that mistake again. I'll change. Just give me another chance.
A mistake? That wasn't a mistake. You just showed your true nature. Don't even bother contacting me again. You're a lost cause.
Harry, wait! Come back! Sylvia, where are you right now? Please, I'm begging you, give me a chance to make things right. I'll get down on my knees and apologize if that's what it takes.
I'm already on my way home. I need to focus on taking care of Ari. As for you, you're fired. Pack your things and leave immediately.
Fired? You can't do this to me. If I lose this job, I'm finished. If my parents find out I got fired, I don't even want to think about what will happen.
Oh? And what exactly will happen if your parents find out?
They'll disown me, probably. My family's incredibly strict. They worked hard to pay for my expensive university tuition. If they find out their son got fired from a company like this, I'll be cut off for sure.
I see. That does sound tough.
Wait, tough? What do you mean by that?
Well, since you've been so insistent and persistent, I took the liberty of contacting your parents myself. After all, they were listed as your emergency contact. I figured it was only right to keep them informed.
What? You called them?
That's correct. Your parents know everything now. Sorry if that's inconvenient for you. But I think this might be a good opportunity for you to reflect on your actions.
No! No, this can't be happening! My life is over! I've done so much for this company!
Your sales performance was the worst in the entire company.
Sure, but it's more like an honorary worst, you know? Oh no, my parents are already calling me. This is a disaster. What am I supposed to do? I still live at home.
And? What does that have to do with anything?
If they kick me out, I'll have nowhere to go. How am I supposed to survive? Sylvia, don't you care about that?
First of all, don't call me Sylvia. Second, I couldn't care less about what happens to you after this. You brought this entirely upon yourself.
This can't be real. I'm only in my 20s. I had dreams of becoming a CEO by now. And yet here I am, about to be unemployed, homeless, and completely out of options. Wait, who's that?
Who's what? Have you finally lost your mind?
No, I mean, someone just came into the CEO's office.
Oh, and now you've got another scheme in mind, haven't you?
You'll see.
Wait, what are you planning to do now? This better not be something stupid. What have you done?
Well, I just wanted to experience what it feels like to be the president, you know. I acted as if I were the president's stand-in and showed them a picture of me and Ari together. They completely bought it.
Do you even realize what you've done? The person who just walked into the president's office was the president of one of our most important business partners, you know.
Yes, I terminated the contract with them. It was awesome, wasn't it? I even told them, this is the end for your company, like a cold, ruthless CEO.
I got a call from the staff at the reception desk, too. And you know what? Even my patience has a breaking point. You have pushed me too far. So just know that I'll be seeking compensation from damages from you. Be prepared for that.
Wait, but it was just a joke. If the president just explains that it was all a misunderstanding, I'm sure we can fix this.
Just a joke, huh? So you thought it was funny to show a picture of you with Ari to our business partner, huh? You realize that to them, you're now tied to my family because of that?
So, what does that mean?
What do you mean, what does that mean? Your blunder is now my blunder, too. You have ruined the company's reputation, and I cannot forgive that, no matter what.
No, but I'm sure it'll be fine, right?
I might forgive you for insulting my daughter, but I will never, ever forgive anyone who tries to harm my company. Never.
Wait, hold on a second. Is this really necessary?
Brace yourself. The damages I'm going to claim are going to be in the millions, no doubt about it.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to create a lasting memory, that's all.
Well, guess what? If I can get a huge sum from you in compensation, that'll be my memory.
No way. Please, wait. I'll kneel, I'll beg, I'll do anything you want.
It's all pointless. You should know that the one with the power always wins. So you managed to break off the engagement, huh?
Yeah, he really didn't want to, but in the end his parents stepped in and...
So he got disowned and left town, right?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be seeing him again anytime soon.
Honestly, you have the worst taste in men. What did you say again? He's a bit of a fool, but deep down he's serious and honest? Look at the mess he caused, though. How could anyone be that naive?
What happened with our business partner?
The contract was canceled. I explained the situation to them, but honestly, the other side is being petty about it. However, I'm making sure I'll get the damages from him. I'm really sorry for all the trouble this caused. You should be sorry. Your awful judgment put everyone in a terrible position. But honestly, maybe it was inevitable. I mean, I'm your daughter after all. But seriously, you've got to stop falling for these types of people. It's not just about whether they're charming or fun. Look at the big picture. A man like that could never have been trusted with your future. Yeah, I know, but for some reason I always end up thinking the best of people even when they don't deserve it. I thought maybe if I gave him a chance he'd change, but, well, here we are. You're too generous for your own good sometimes. I told you before, your heart's too soft. It's why you end up getting hurt. Now just take this as a lesson, trust the right people, and don't give anyone the benefit of the doubt unless they've earned it. You're right. I'll take it as a lesson, but it doesn't make the sting go away. I really thought he was different, that he cared for me, but I guess the whole thing was just a game to him. It's better this way. You're rid of him, and now you can move on. What's done is done. I still can't believe he showed up in the president's office and did all that. And then he tried to act like it was just some kind of joke. How ridiculous! You know, I don't think he ever realized how much he messed up. He's one of those guys who thinks he's invincible and can get away with anything. But now he'll learn. He's not going to get away with this one. He's not even thinking about what's coming next. He probably believes that if he begs or apologizes, everything will go back to normal. But that's not how it works in the real world. Exactly. The damage is done and there's no going back. Besides, the way he acted shows that he never truly respected me or anyone else. I'm just glad it's over. The sooner we put all this behind us, the better. At least we don't have to deal with him anymore. Yeah, and this time we're going to be smarter. We'll make sure no one else like him slips through the cracks. You're right. I won't make the same mistake again. I'll be more cautious and I won't let anyone manipulate me again. Good. You've learned from this. And next time, trust your instincts more. Don't let anyone make you doubt yourself. Rich was disowned by his parents and decided to leave town to live in a quiet life far away. It's quite a story, really. I've heard that he took on a significant amount of debt after being held responsible for damages to someone else. Now he's living in extreme poverty, far removed from the bright future he once imagined for himself. It's a tough situation, but honestly, it's hard to say anything other than it's the result of his own actions. He was quite an interesting kid in his own way, but when it comes to the troubles he's facing now, I can't help but feel like it's all a consequence of his own mistakes. There's certainly a bitter irony to it. Life doesn't always turn out the way we expect to, but sometimes it's the consequences of our choices that shape what comes next. As for me, I'm still continuing with my work as the company president. It's been a challenging journey, but I've found a way to keep moving forward. It hasn't always been easy, but I've managed to maintain my position and the responsibilities that come with it. There are days when it feels like everything is on my shoulders, but I'm used to it by now. Running a company, especially as a woman, comes with its own set of challenges, but I've learned how to navigate them. I suppose there's a certain strength that comes from doing what you have to do, no matter what the world expects of you. My daughter, on the other hand, has learned a lot from this whole situation. She seems to have reflected on the events deeply, and it's clear that she's become much more cautious of how she views others now. It's understandable, really. I think when you've experienced something like this, it changes the way you look at people. It makes you more aware of the signs, more sensitive to what's really going on beneath the surface. I believe that, as a mother, I can't help but feel a bit of relief knowing that she's being careful about who she lets into her life. Sometimes I wish I had been more careful when I was younger, but it's a lesson we all have to learn in our own way, right? I think the best thing we can do as parents is to give our children the wisdom and experience we've gained, but ultimately, they have to figure things out for themselves. If she's being more careful, then that's a good thing in my eyes. I've seen too many people get hurt because they didn't see things coming. Having that kind of discernment can make all the difference. It's not about being distrustful, but about being aware of the potential consequences of your choices. I think she's starting to understand that. I'll admit, I may not be in a position to lecture anyone about judgment. After all, I've had my fair share of mistakes and missteps along the way. I'm not perfect, and I've made my own choices that didn't always turn out the way I hoped. In some ways, I suppose that's the reality of life, isn't it? We all make decisions based on what we know at the time, and sometimes those decisions come back to haunt us. It's just a part of the human experience. In the end, I think what matters most is how we handle the consequences of our actions. It's easy to get caught up in regret, but the true measure of a person is how they move forward. I've seen people let their mistakes define them, but I've also seen others use their past to propel themselves forward, learning and growing from their experiences. I hope my daughter will be able to do the same. It's not easy, of course, life rarely is, but I believe in her strength and ability to navigate whatever challenges come her way. I can't protect her from everything, but I can provide her with the tools she needs to face the world head-on. At the end of the day, that's all we can do as parents, give our children the foundation to stand on their own. So even though things didn't turn out the way Rich had hoped, and even though the road ahead for him is probably going to be a tough one, I think he's learned a valuable lesson. He's facing the consequences of his choices just as we all do eventually. There's no escaping that. But there's also always the chance to rebuild, to start over, and to make something better out of the mess we've created. I suppose we'll see where life takes him next, but for now, it's just one of those situations where you can only shake your head and say, well, he brought this on himself. There's not much else to say about it, really. And while I don't take any pleasure in his suffering, there's a certain sense of closure that comes from knowing that people have to face the music eventually. As for my daughter, I'm hopeful for her future. She's learning, she's growing, and she's becoming more aware of the world around her. It's a tough lesson, but it's one that will serve her well in the long run. I may not have all the answers, but I do know that she is on the right path. I'm proud of her, and I'll continue to support her no matter what. It's not always easy to see our children go through difficult times, but I believe in her resilience. She's stronger than she knows, and I'm confident that she'll come out of this stronger, more capable, and more prepared for whatever life throws her way. So while Rich's situation is unfortunate, it's a reminder that we'll all have to take responsibility for the choices we make. There's no running away from the consequences, but there's always room for growth and change. That's what I hope for my daughter, and that's what I hope for myself as well. We all have our struggles, our regrets, and our moments of doubt, but it's how we handle them that defines us, and as long as we keep moving forward, we'll be okay in the end. Rich's decision to leave town and live in solitude was undoubtedly a significant one. It's hard to imagine what it must have been like for him to sever ties with his family like that, but it was a choice he made, and now he's living with the consequences. Being disowned by your parents is a heavy burden to carry, and I'm sure it hasn't been easy for him. But at the same time, there's only so much sympathy one can feel for someone who's reaping the results of their own actions. He dug his own grave, so to speak, and now he's forced to lie in it. When I think about what happened to him, I still can't help but feel that he was given a chance. A chance to turn things around and make better decisions, but he chose to ignore that opportunity. Now he's struggling with debt, living a life that is far from what he once envisioned. It's heartbreaking, yes, but it's also a reminder that we all have a limited amount of time to make the right choices before the consequences catch up with us. Time doesn't wait for anyone, and sooner or later, we all have to face what we've done. I've often thought about the decisions that brought him to this point. It wasn't just one mistake. It was a series of choices that led him to ruin. Taking on debt for someone else's damages is a huge responsibility to bear, especially when you don't have the resources to back it up. But Rich didn't think about the future. He acted impulsively, thinking he could handle the consequences later. Now he's paying the price, and there is no escaping that reality. It's difficult not to feel some sympathy for him, especially considering that he was once a bright, hopeful young man, with his whole life ahead of him. But I can't deny that there is a certain sense of inevitability to his downfall. Life has a way of catching up with people, no matter how much they try to outrun it. And in the end, the choices we make are what define us. Rich's decisions have led him to this point, and no amount of regret or self-pity is going to change that. As for my own life, I've had my own share of struggles as well. Being the president of a company is no easy task, and there are times when I question whether I'm doing the right thing. The pressure is immense, and there's always the fear of failure looming over me. But I've learned to deal with that fear, to push through the uncertainty and to keep moving forward. It's not always easy, and there are days where I feel like I can't take another step, but I've learned that resilience is key. I've also learned that success isn't just about achieving goals or reaching milestones. It's about perseverance and the ability to keep going even when things seem impossible. There have been months where I thought that I couldn't handle the weight of my responsibilities, but I've found a way to keep going. It's about being willing to face the challenges head on, no matter how daunting they may seem. And it's about knowing that even when things don't go according to plan, there is always a way forward. My daughter has also had her share of struggles, but I'm proud of the way she's handling them. I know that she's learned a lot from what happened with Rich, and I can see the change in her. She's become more cautious, more aware of the people she lets into her life, and I think that's a good thing. Sometimes we need to go through tough experiences to learn how to protect ourselves, to learn how to recognize the signs of danger before it's too late. I think she's starting to understand that, and that gives me peace of mind.
I'm going to assume this is your phone number then, Piper? This is Gary's father, Barney. He gave me your phone number just a little bit ago, and that is why I'm able to text you now. There's something I'd like to ask you right now, before you and him get too carried away with wanting to get married. Would you be willing to give me a bit of your time right now?
This is Barney's dad? Well, you were given the right number because this is indeed me. I'm so happy to finally have a chance to talk with you, though. Go ahead and ask me anything. I hope that whatever it is you may be interested in, I can help you understand.
I heard that you happened to graduate from college and everything like that. Should I believe that to be a fact, then?
Yes, you should. I graduated from the Boston Tech, actually. I went there and got a bachelor's, but after graduating, I decided to work in the veterinary fields helping pets and other animals.
I see. Then that should mean there are no issues with your educational background.
I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you were wanting to ask me about today?
How were you raised by your parents before you entered Boston Tech? Of course, you graduated from high school and everything like that, but what was your GPA coming out of there?
So you want to know about my education before university as well? When I graduated from high school, I had a GPA of 3.9. That's partially why I was able to get into the university in the first place.
So that would mean you completed all of your studies and were able to put all of the knowledge you learned to the test in order to get into that university?
What do you mean by that? Of course I had to use all the knowledge I had gained from my studies in high school to get into college there. Did you think I had some kind of a connection or something? Nobody in my family had ever been there before me, nor did I have any friends there. The only thing that made me different from a lot of the other students that were accepted is that the high school I went to is managed by the university.
What? So you were bound to be accepted into the university? I wouldn't claim that you got into that school with your own strengths then. There's a chance then that a lot of the people you were going to school with back in high school weren't all too smart. Not something I'd be proud of if I were you.
What? I'm sure that could be true. I'm sorry if I was sounding arrogant in any way there.
So? Does that mean you've been going to private schools all your life?
What? Private schools? I'm sorry. But both the elementary school and middle school that I went to were public. And some could even argue that the high school I was going to was public. I was going to whatever schools were in the town I grew up in at the time.
What? So you're saying you were going to such low-level schools? It's one thing to be proud of the fact that you got to go to Boston Tech for 4 years and graduate from there. But if your time in primary school was all spent in a public school, I can't believe you would be all right saying something like that to me.
Is going to public school back then really something to be surprised about?
In other words, your parents didn't have enough money to send you to a private school? Or could it be that you weren't smart enough for those schools?
Hold on. Back in the town where I was from, there were no private schools besides the all-girls school, but I didn't really need to go there back then. Actually, the public school system in that town is rated as one of the top public school systems in the state. And everyone from there all went to the same schools together. We all stuck together from elementary school all the way to high school. That was normal for us. And I kind of thought going to public school was a normal thing for everyone.
I see. So that's the kind of family and town you were raised in. Are you still living together with both of your parents right now?
No, actually, when I started to go to college, I began living on my own. And I started to go out with your son not too long after, when one of our friends introduced us to one another. Since we've both been pretty far away from you and your wife, Gary's never really been able to show me to either one of you. And, well, now that we're out of school and engaged to each other, we thought it was time for me to finally go out and meet with you. Hence why we made the plans for me to come with him to your guys' house. Which I'm very excited about, since that'll be in a few days.
Is that right? Well, considering that you did graduate from a university that is pretty well known and are currently working for a company that is also pretty well known, I'll allow you to come over to our house and see my wife and I. But there are some things about you that I can't quite lay my finger on just yet. I have a lot more that I'd like to talk with you about when you come to see us, so make sure you're ready for some long discussions with my wife and I.
Okay. Then I'll make sure to get some rest then. I look forward to seeing both you and your wife in a few days.
You really make such big deals out of nothing! A little bit over-dramatic, are we? All I did was give you a soft punch, and you've had to run off and hide in the bathroom? I knew that a woman such as yourself would not be fit for a son like mine.
That was a soft punch to you? My jaw has gone completely stiff now, and there's a massive gash on the inside of my cheek. There is still a bunch of blood coming out of my mouth, and the pain is really radiating into my skull. Why would you do something like this?
Why would I? I'm sure you already know why, right? You think I was going to let my son, the son of a family of well-renowned police officers, marry a disgraceful, motherless child?
I can't believe you'd say that. My dad has done everything he could to make sure that I was raised just like everyone else who still has their mom still. I don't think you should be talking poorly about either one of us.
Is it painful for you to be punched? Are you gonna cry and whine about how it was unfair of me to punch you like that? Go ahead, give your worthless father a call and bring him out here. Cry, "Daddy, Daddy, help me." Tell him that you're in trouble with the police now.
Is that what you'd like me to do? So be it. I guess I'll give my dad a call. I'll make sure that he makes an example out of you, Barney.
Ooh, go ahead and call his ass out here right now. I bet all he's good at is using his body to work at some kind of labor-intensive job, right? Does he even have a brain up there? Go ahead and have him come out here, because I want to see what kind of muscular dumbass your father is. Just make sure he knows the moment he even tries to inflict any violence towards me, he's gonna get shot.
I think you should cut that childish behavior of looking down on others like that out right now. Oh, what just happened there? I am so sorry about. I never thought that your father would be... Oh, that your father would end up being the chief of the state police! I told your husband what would happen. That my dad would be coming out here to make a very good example out of him. Sure, my dad may be very large and muscular, but thankfully these days he's a bit more relaxed after having left the military. But did you guys not stop to think that perhaps my dad was the real deal and could actually do something about your husband's actions? I didn't think your father would be... I didn't think that the chief of the state police would be coming to our house today. As part of our family of renowned police officers, I am so happy to have him here. And thinking now that the daughter of the chief of the state police would be getting married to our son, Now that both my husband and I are aware of who your father is, we have no problem with you marrying our son. Please tell your father that we are looking forward to seeing him again and talking more in depth about your guys' marriage. Deborah, I don't understand how you can say such a thing like that now, after your husband just got taken away by the state police. Just as my dad said, all of your family who are working for the city's police force will now be relieved of your duties and forced to find other work. Do you understand what that means for you, Deborah? That means that you can no longer sit there acting as though you're tough crap just because some of your family has been on the city's police force all their lives. I'm sure we could do something. What my husband did to you, punching you in the face, was his fault, as he didn't consult with anyone else before doing such a thing. The rest of us have nothing to do with his choices, so please don't let your father do this to us. To have all of us fired together like that. Oh, please tell me that he was just joking about all of that. You're making it look like the family never cared for your husband at all and are completely fine with tossing him out. But I saw everything, Deborah. The rest of you didn't step in to do anything about your husband when he struck me. You all just stood back and watched it happen. And you stood there smiling and laughing through your nose. And when I hit the ground and let out a scream, you started to laugh even more, before realizing that the blood from inside my mouth was falling onto your carpet. When you began to yell at me, not your husband, about the blood staining your precious carpeting, and what was it you said before I ran off? Don't stain my carpet with your dirty, low-life blood. You were the one that said that to me as I scrambled back up and ran off. And as I wobbled left to right, trying to make it down the hallway, you stood there laughing. Because then you were... Well, then you weren't the daughter of the chief of the state police to me. I didn't know any better then. I assumed you were nothing more than the scum my family arrests all the time, and thought it would fit the atmosphere to laugh. But soon after, your father showed up in a state police cop car. That's right. He sure did make an entrance, didn't he? And when he stepped out to see how shocked all of you were from seeing my dad, I was entertained. I never thought that us humans could make such a face that could show just how scared we really were. Piper, of course I've learned my lesson, but so is my husband. That's why... Can you please go to your father and let him know that we are both very, very sorry for the way we behaved today? Sorry for the way you behaved? Tell me, why would you be sorry for that? I thought you both intentionally acted like that, knowing very well what you were doing to me. Because we didn't know at the time that my husband was punching the daughter of the chief of the state police. And due to our misunderstandings, we said some very immature things to you about yourself and your father. I want you and your father to both know that had we known you were his daughter, something like this would have never, ever happened to you. Don't you find what you said just then a little odd? Does that mean if I weren't the daughter of the chief of the state police, your husband punishing me would have been warranted? That's what you just said to me, right? That's why you thought it was okay to laugh at me after being assaulted and told me to get my blood off your carpet, right? Now wait. I said that was... My family is a family of renowned police officers, which means we wanted to make sure our son would be married to someone of a similar background. That's why when you said you were raised by your single father, we didn't think you would be a good enough wife for our son. Is that right? Well, I guess everyone has their own way of thinking, don't they? That would mean that your family's way of thinking and my family's way of thinking are completely different from one another. Just like my dad was saying, you all need to be punished for your actions immediately. Why, Piper? Don't you still love our son to the point that you want to marry him? I'm telling you that you're allowed to marry him now if you'd like. So shouldn't you be trying to flatter us in some way now? About what I think about your son now? You're better off just forgetting that I ever was in love with him. I mean, that love I had for him waking up this morning is all gone now thanks to that punch your husband landed on me. What? What do you mean by that? I meant exactly what I just said. Did you see your son today doing anything to come and help me after my jaw was punched and I was bleeding everywhere? Tell me right now, what did he do to protect me from his mom and dad? Did he do something for me even? No, I don't think he did jack. Actually, the one thing he did do was smile and laugh along with you so that you guys wouldn't get upset with him. He just acted like that because our family is very strict. And when it comes to his father, what he says goes. Which means if my husband wasn't happy with you at all, neither was my son. He knew at the time there wouldn't be a chance of marrying you anymore, so there was no need for him to help protect you. And since that's the case, I don't give a damn about your son anymore. Now he's gone and really upset me because instead of even showing a little bit of care for me by asking if I was okay, he just stood there listening to and agreeing with you both. And right before your husband punched me, what did your son say again? What did Gary say? Why didn't you tell me earlier that your dad was a single parent? That right there really pissed me off, but I couldn't show that anger because the next thing I knew, my lights were knocked out for a couple of seconds. There was no helping that. He was just as shocked as the rest of us were. And now you're saying that you won't marry him because of that? Are you really that picky of a woman? Yes, I am, actually. Because if I were to go ahead and still marry a man which I know despises me, who knows what would happen between us later on? You really think I'm going to be that stupid? That's why I'm backing down from marrying him now. And thank God I learned about the true Gary now before it was too late. No way. Oh, there's no way this could be happening. Yeah, seriously. There's no way something like this could be happening. Getting punched in the face just because my dad is a single parent? And it's not like I was trying to hide that from anyone anyway. Nobody ever really asked about my parents, even Gary, so I never talked about them. And now, after really putting some thought into all of this, your son must have never really been into me that much anyway. I think he just wanted to marry because he's young and found me to be his easiest option after college. Oh, that's not true at all. Hey, we all share some roots in things like the police force, so you have to understand what was going through our minds, right? We can get over all of this together and act as though nothing serious ever happened. I think we can all laugh about this in the future, so please, Piper, find some way to go to your father and let him know that we're all sorry and would like him to forgive us. No. What you should have been starting with is an apology for punching me in the face. I was punched in the jaw by a man 3 times my size, and that threw me 5 feet into your wall and onto the floor. My jaw is still not able to move without serious pain, and the inside of my cheek is so badly cut up that it'll need some stitches. From what I can see, my jaw is probably broken, and that's why it keeps throbbing so badly. I'm telling you right now that I will be taking your husband to court and winning a settlement from him. I think what he did, he took things way too far then. But you were the one that never told any of us before that your father is a single parent, right? Also, you never told anyone about the fact that your father is the chief of the state police. There were plenty of very important things you forgot to tell us, or chose not to mention, that got us into this predicament, right? I can see here that I can no longer talk with you people. You people? I told you none of you ever asked me about my parents or about what my dad does. You all just assumed one thing or another and went with it, basing all of your choices off of it. And what the hell is so wrong with me not having a mom around anyway? It's a pretty common thing these days, so I would never actually try to hide it from anyone. It was just something that never got brought up. I mean, if you all really cared that much about someone else's parents, why didn't you start by asking me about them a long time ago? I think before you started any of this crap, you maybe should have wondered why you cared so much when your son isn't anything special. He's just your basic office worker, for crying out loud. You never saw my dad or I complaining about him, right? If you want to blame someone for all of this, start with your son, who's a complete idiot and never really showed any interest in my family in the first place. My dad is pissed that his only child was just punched in the face by a man who claims to be a renowned police officer. If my dad wasn't in a higher position than you all, I wonder how things would be playing out for me right now. For my dad right now. I hope that my dad does everything in his power to make sure you all learn from what you've done today. Now, if you all have any more complaints about what's happening next, take it up with my dad instead of me, please. I'm cutting ties to you all now and will no longer bother with any of you.
Long time no see, Piper. The reason why I'm talking with you again after so long is because I have something to ask from you.
Who are you again?
I'm your previous fiancé's father, Barney. I am sorry for all the troubles that I had caused for you back then. So very sorry.
And what would you like from me now? I have a scar across the bottom of my jaw and had to spend 2 months drinking my food. It was one hell of a time after that surgery. Have you finally found the courage you didn't have years ago that will allow you to apologize to me? After that day, I never heard anything from you about being sorry.
Ever since that day, I've felt so sorry for what I'd done and regret every bit of it. After that, I was forced to step down from my position on the police force and was taken into custody by the state police. Thereafter, I never had the time to ever get in touch with you again because I had so much going on myself.
Tell me why you're messaging me now, then. What could you possibly want with your victim of assault years after the incident?
I understand that it's been a couple of years now since all of that, unfortunately, went down. And that's why I would like to properly apologize to you now for it.
That's not at all why you're texting me, Barney. You just told me you had something to ask of me, right? A favor? I don't remember you guys ever being so well behaved, so of course there's something more to all this. So, what do you want from me?
My son Gary, he was arrested for molesting someone.
What? Wait, are you kidding me?
It seems that he had this sudden impulse or something. He had always been raised to respect the law, considering his whole family is known for being in the police force. But after I was arrested, perhaps he lost faith or something in the system. Recently, I was always wondering why he seemed very off, like he no longer trusted anyone.
Absolute pile of trash, isn't he? I must have been in a really dangerous place going out with him and getting engaged to him. To think I was this close to becoming the wife of a molester. So I can see you got over your pride and managed to tell me that about your boy. What do you want from me?
Being arrested over something like molestation, that's something that is not taken well at all in this world. If he were to be charged with that in court soon, he would have that on his permanent record for life, and that would ruin any chance of succeeding in life for him. So I had thought that maybe somehow with the help of your father's power in... Do you think you could get your father to remove the charges that are being held against him?
Huh? You all really are the scum of the earth, aren't you? I'm not doing that crap for you. I won't, I can't, I have no reason to.
Don't say something like that, please, Piper. Just this. Please, just do something about this. I don't think my son did anything wrong to begin with. He was just trying to go out with you and make plans for marriage at the time. Had I never stepped in the way of that dream he had, then right now he'd be married to the daughter of the chief of the state police. My whole family of police officers would all be on top of the world with the help of your father's status. But because of the needless crap that I pulled years ago...
Well, what do you know? You seem to have finally come around to blaming yourself. Well, you're right. That is why everything in your life is all screwed up now. Had you never used and abused your name as a renowned police officer, then you all would be living pretty decent lives and not have to be worried about your son, the molester. I'm sure you guys would even be considered some of this state's finest.
And I don't think it's too late for us just yet. If you and your father help us here, we won't ever bite back at you guys like we've done before again. We will do everything you guys say, so please do something to help us here.
From all the crap I've heard coming out of your mouth, not one bit of it was worth my time. Also, I don't think my dad or I can see any possible reason to stick our necks out for you guys when there is nothing in it for either of us.
We can make something work. I'll make sure my son repays you both in some way.
We don't have a need for whatever your son has to offer us. Molesting someone is a very serious offense and will land him in jail, I presume. Why did you think that begging a stranger to help you bail him out of that would work in your favor? And why did you think something like touching another person's body without their permission was a crime my dad would be fine with overlooking? Perhaps it's because you're a prejudiced man that doesn't understand us women. But even if your disgusting son was pardoned from his crimes or bailed out by my dad, everyone would still know about what he's done, as it's on the news, and not a single woman would want to be with him. I just looked up what happened, by the way, and the girl Gary touched was 14. Do you know how scared she must have been when that happened to her? I think your son is going to either be paying her a lot of money for what he's done, or rotting away in prison for touching an underage girl, most likely both.
But it was really just a sudden urge.
And so what? I thought you all worked for the police here. Did you all just let robbers, killers, and molesters get away because they said it was just a sudden urge? He should not be forgiven for what he's done, that pile of crap. And you should be forced to suffer some more alongside him. I could send screenshots of this conversation to both my dad and the judge right now and see what happens to you.
My son has really learned that what he'd done was wrong, though. That's why, just this time, I'm asking you to...
I don't give a damn. That freak needs to pay for his disgusting crimes. That's how this stuff works. Sure, he may feel bad for what he's done now, but he has not been punished yet. And he won't be a changed man until that punishment has been inflicted upon him. And one last thing, if Gary was wanting to feel up another girl like that so badly, then maybe he should make some money and hire a prostitute. Why do you think there are women out there making so much money doing things like that? Because there are plenty of freaks like your son that need their fix.
No way. I understand. I get that my son is a freak now, but ever since that day your dad came to our house, we've been at a loss. My son was forced to get himself a new job working part-time, and his pride was ruined. And myself, I had to lose my job as a police officer and serve time for what I did to you. Without me, my son had to go through that hard time alone, and that's what led him to committing such a filthy crime.
Everyone goes through hard times, you dick. But not everyone goes out and molests others because of it. I don't care how hard it may have been on you guys, you all deserved what you got. So stop acting like you guys don't deserve all that you've gotten, because you are not the victims. You are all criminals that my dad has been working so hard to get rid of, and I will not step in and jeopardize his mission.
We didn't mean to. I'm really so sorry.
I really do not have the time to care about your bullcrap anymore. You all being complete idiots is not something I am responsible for. You all were raised to think that what you were doing was okay, so now you're going to have to deal with the outcome of your actions. I don't think any of you guys deserve to be on the street anymore, to be honest. Thinking that you are the victims of everything when it doesn't benefit you? I hope you and your whole family of scum go and rot in hell for the rest of the time. Gary quickly became known as the disgusting molester child of his ex-police officer family. His father, once respected in the force, was powerless to help him, leaving Gary to wait in his jail cell for the trial where he'd face the girl he touched on the bus. Around the same time, Barney, who had recently been messaging me, was dealing with his own issues. He had just gotten out of prison after serving time for punching me. His wife Deborah stayed with him, but was forced to take on 3 jobs to support their household. The rest of their family cut ties with them after losing their positions on the police force. A few years ago, after being assaulted, I went to the ER for jaw surgery. That visit changed my life when I met my surgeon, who later became my husband. Unlike Rowan, he's a kind and supportive man who always has my back. Looking back, I take pride in my dad's high-ranking position, knowing it likely protected me from worse outcomes involving Barney's family. Their downfall serves as a reminder of how actions have consequences, and I am grateful for the stability and happiness I've found since.
I just purchased a $200,000 diamond ring using my son's credit card. Are there any complaints from the simple wife? I am so happy to have a doctor as a son. What? A diamond ring? For $200,000? Are you sure you don't mean a $2 toy ring? My, you and your jealousy really has gotten to your head now. Cooper went ahead and gifted me this $200,000 handmade diamond ring. I just went and signed for it, and later on, I'll send you the pictures. So Cooper went and bought that ring for you? That's what I've been saying. All right, let me go take a picture of it right now and send it your way. It's true. That is definitely a luxury handmade ring. But I can't imagine Cooper being able to afford something like this. Cooper is a doctor, you know. Of course he can easily afford this. Or could it be that he doesn't buy you anything? What do you mean by that? Oh, it's simple. Since Cooper doesn't love you, he doesn't buy you anything, not even a ring. I mean, come on, it makes sense, right? Someone like you, such a low-class, stupid woman, is just on a completely different level from Cooper. And, of course, from me as well. Cooper doesn't love me? Well, that may be true. But calling me a low-class, stupid woman, huh? Exactly. You're a low-class, low-income, and uneducated woman. Am I wrong? You and I are fundamentally different kinds of people. It's almost generous of us to have let a woman like you into this family. Look, I get it. You're really proud of the ring, but can we stop this already? No, we can't stop. You see, you're seriously lacking in gratitude towards us. Your family is poor, right? You should be thankful you can even live this life thanks to us. Thanks to you? But Cooper only makes $300 a month. Liar, you ugly woman. You've really lost your mind, haven't you? Not just your appearance, but now your head, too. I guess that's what happens when you're poor. Everyone becomes a liar. I'm telling the truth. I've kept quiet about it until now, but I've been barely supporting him this whole time. However, I'm done with that kind of life, so we'll be getting a divorce soon. After we divorce, you'll have to take care of him, so good luck with that. Oh my goodness, you're scared. I've never seen someone so delusional. Do you need me to take you to the hospital or something? Or better yet, why not have your dear Dr. Cooper take a look at you? Hey, what on earth is this all about?
Huh? No, wait, you've got it wrong. It's not what you think.
Wrong about what? What are you even talking about?
Isn't this about the engagement ring?
What? Are you saying you sold the engagement ring?
Well, yeah, there's this guy I know who's really knowledgeable about these things. He said if I was going to sell it, now's the best time. He mentioned that prices for jewelry like that are really high right now, and there's a chance I could get more than what I originally paid for it. So I figured, why not? I thought I could get a good price for it.
Wait a second, you sold the ring? And not just any ring, My engagement ring?
Yeah, I sold yours too, but listen, I bought that ring for you, so technically it's mine. Besides, you haven't been wearing it for a while now, so I figured you didn't need it anymore. You know, since we're getting divorced and all, I thought of it as part of the separation process, like a symbolic thing.
You've got to be kidding me. This isn't about whether I'm wearing it or not. Selling the engagement ring behind my back? That's beyond messed up.
I didn't have much of a choice, okay? I was broke. You, as my wife, should just stay quiet and understand my situation.
What the hell did you just say?
Dave came by again, pressuring me to pay up. He even said that if I don't settle things soon, you might end up getting hurt too. He was desperate. I was just trying to protect you, that's all.
Wow, aren't you clever with your words? So, let me get this straight. You sold the engagement rings to protect me?
Exactly! You know how dangerous Dave can be. I was just looking out for you.
Right, but who's the one who borrowed money from someone like Dave in the first place?
Well, I didn't really have a choice. No other lenders would give me a loan. Dave, on the other hand, doesn't care about credit scores or background checks. Sure, the interest rates are high, but at least he'll lend to anyone.
Ah, I see. So you took out a high-interest loan from a dangerous guy just to blow it all on gambling. How admirable. And yet, for some reason, your mother seems to dote on you endlessly despite this kind of behavior.
No, it's not like that. My mom doesn't dote on me exactly. She just sees me as a status symbol. To her, I'm just the son of a doctor. That's all I am to her, a way for her to show off. She doesn't really care about me as a person.
That's funny, coming from the guy who bought his mom a $200,000 luxury diamond ring.
What did you just say?
You heard me. A $200,000 luxury ring. Don't play dumb. You bought that car for her, didn't you? With your credit card. I saw how thrilled your mom was about it, and she even showed me pictures of the ring. Today was the delivery day, wasn't it?
Is this some kind of prank? Think about it for a second. How would I have $200,000 to spend on a diamond ring right now? I'm drowning in debt as it is, and I can barely keep my head above water.
Then explain to me why your mother has that ring. She doesn't work, so there's no way she could afford something like that on her own. Your father's inheritance is long gone, too. So where did she get the money for that car?
What the hell is going on here? Hey, Mom, I heard you bought a handmade diamond ring and that I bought it for you?
Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention it to you. You left your credit card at my place, so I went ahead and used it.
What?
That diamond ring, I've always wanted it. I'm so happy I finally got my hands on it.
Wait a minute, isn't that the $200,000 ring?
Of course. I thought I could just tell you later, so I didn't think it was a big deal. But it's no big deal, right? I mean, $200,000 isn't that much, is it? After all, you're a doctor.
Well, it's just that...
If I had asked you to buy it before, you would have said yes anyway, right? I know I didn't tell you beforehand, and for that I'm sorry, but it's fine, isn't it?
$200,000 is a bit much, even for me.
What do you mean? Sam, you're a doctor. You can make $200,000 in just 3 months, can't you?
3 months? I mean, yeah, I'm a doctor, but I'm still pretty new to the field. I haven't even started my own practice yet, and it's not like I'm rolling in money.
Huh? What are you even talking about? You're a doctor. Act like one. You should be proud and confident. You're my pride and joy, my brilliant son. Don't get all gloomy over a mere $200,000.
Mere $200,000? You're lucky I'm only a little gloomy about it.
I don't want my proud son texting me to complain about something as trivial as this. Just let it go, okay?
Mom!
Hey, Hannah, excuse me for a moment.
What is it?
There are some strange people hanging around outside my house. They're demanding to see Cooper.
What? And why exactly aren't you telling me this?
Because they can't get in touch with Cooper. What's going on with him these days? Where is he?
Who knows? Cooper disappeared in the middle of the night, you know? He packed up and fled.
What did you say?
He most likely ran away to escape from his creditors. Considering the massive debt he's accumulated, especially after that additional $200,000, he looked completely desperate. There was no way out for him.
Massive debt? What are you even talking about? Don't tell me. Did he take on someone else's debt? Did he take over your debt by any chance?
This is such a pain to explain. I've already told you before, he's practically unemployed. I've been the one earning the money and covering our living expenses.
That's ridiculous. There's no way that's true. Cooper is my son. The idea that he's buried in debt and unemployed is simply impossible. Besides, Cooper graduated from a prestigious medical school and became a doctor. How can you even suggest that he's living such a miserable life?
He quit being a doctor a long time ago. Since then, he's just been hopping between part-time jobs. He kept up the appearance of being a doctor only in front of you, his dear mother. He did indeed graduate from medical school. That part's true, but pretending to still be a doctor? Well, that's not as hard as it seems, especially when it comes to keeping up appearances.
No, this can't be true. There's no way my son, my Cooper, would do something like that.
And what makes you so certain about that? Forgive me for saying this, but you've never really had any social or career accomplishments of your own, right?
How dare you say something like that? That's beyond rude. I'll have you know, my parents were highly successful and influential, and my late husband was the CEO of a company. And my son Cooper is a doctor. He worked hard and became a respected doctor.
Sure, your parents were great, and your husband may have been a successful CEO, but what about you? What have you accomplished?
What?
I'm not talking about your family or their achievements. I'm asking about you. What have you personally done? Bragging about your family doesn't do anything to change the reality of your own life, does it?
Well,
See? You can't think of anything, can you? That's exactly why you've pinned all your hopes and dreams on Cooper. You project all your ideals onto him because you don't have anything of your own.
Shut up! You don't know me or my life, so stop acting like you do.
I don't need to know much to see the obvious. It's written all over you. But the reality is, Cooper quit being a doctor, threw himself into gambling, and became a full-blown failure. It's time for you to accept that.
I refuse to believe that. My Cooper is smart, talented, and a good man. He's an honest, upstanding person, and his patients all admire and respect him. He's a doctor.
Then why isn't he answering your calls? Why is he avoiding contact with his own mother?
How would I know? He's probably just sleeping, that's all. Sleeping in the middle of the day? It's a weekday after all. Shouldn't a doctor be working? He's probably at the hospital, obviously. Maybe he's in the middle of performing surgery or something. Surgeries can take hours, you know. That's probably why he's not picking up the phone. He's probably doing one of those complex procedures, like heart surgery, maybe one of those bypass operations or something like that. Yes, that's it. He must be in surgery right now, saving someone's life. Is that so? Well, let's hope that's the case. Though, for the record, Cooper isn't a surgeon. Whatever. The point is, there's absolutely no truth to your absurd claims about Cooper being buried in debt. You're just jealous because you're poor. You really need to stop being so envious of us and our success. If you say so, but I think it's time I show you some proof. How about I send you the messages I exchanged with Cooper? You'll see for yourself what's really going on. No way! This is fake! It can't be real! That's not Cooper! I'm afraid you're mistaken. It is definitely Cooper. This was just a few days before he ran off in the middle of the night. By that point, he was so desperate that he had even pawned the engagement ring. Can you imagine? Things were that bad. And in the midst of all that, you went and bought a $200,000 luxury car with his credit card. I'm not surprised he felt like running away after that. No way! Cooper doing something like this? I can't believe it! My son, of all people, could never be that kind of person. No. Oh, what's the matter? The debt collectors, they're pounding on the door, demanding we bring Cooper out. But he's not here. They won't stop banging. Hannah, where is Cooper right now? Who knows? I certainly don't. Enough of this. You need to bring Cooper back here now. He has to take responsibility for his actions. How could he do this, dragging me into this mess like this? He's an absolute disgrace of a son. You're really quick to abandon him, aren't you? It seems like Cooper was right all along. He told me, you know. He said that you only saw him as a status symbol. I guess he was telling the truth. What? How dare you? Or maybe you should take responsibility. After all, you're the one who let him fall so low. It's partly your fault too, isn't it? Well, you can say whatever you want, but if you're going to start talking about responsibility, then you should acknowledge that you have some responsibility in this too. What? Me? I've done nothing but raise him the best way I could. If he decided to go down this wrong path, that's his fault, not mine. I bear no responsibility. The fact that you can say that so calmly just proves how much you've failed as a parent. But hey, why don't you hear it directly from him? I'll have him get in touch with you. Wait, from him? You mean Cooper? Yes! Contact him immediately! Why didn't you just do that from the start? All right. Please hold on for a moment.
Mom, it's me, Cooper.
Cooper, what on earth is going on? Why are those people outside? Are they trying to collect something from us?
Yeah, I know they're out there. Just be careful. They can get really aggressive.
Cooper, why are you talking like this is some sort of outside problem? This is your debt we're dealing with. You're the one who needs to pay it back. You can't just act like it's not your responsibility.
No, it's not just my debt. It's also your debt, Mom.
What do you mean by that?
Remember when you bought that $200,000 handmade diamond ring using my credit card? It was just a few days later that all this trouble started. You even signed the ownership documents for the ring. I remember that clearly.
Yeah, I did sign it, but
Did you actually read those documents?
I mean, I glanced at them, but
I told you to read them carefully. I made that very clear.
okay, but what does that matter? Why are you bringing up those documents now?
Mom, you are a co-signer on my debt. This means that if I fail to pay it back, you are also responsible for the payments.
Wait, what?
Since you went ahead and bought that $200,000 car without thinking twice, I figured you'd be okay with the idea of sharing the burden of the debt. After all, you were the one who made that purchase.
Hold on. Are you saying that you tricked me into this? You deceived me!
I didn't trick you. I told you to read the documents, so it's not my fault if you chose to ignore that advice. Why didn't you read them?
Why would I read a document like that? It's ridiculous. No one reads those things. And the idea of being a co-signer? That's just absurd. I will absolutely not pay any of this debt.
Listen, I'm taking responsibility for my share of the debt, so you need to pay back the $200,000 yourself. That seems fair to me, don't you think?
No way! Why should I have to pay for your mistakes? This has nothing to do with me. I refuse to pay.
If you don't agree to this, then I will have no choice but to sue you.
Sue me? Are you serious right now?
Absolutely, I will sue you for credit card fraud. You used my card without my knowledge or consent, and that puts you in a very serious situation.
Oh my god! This can't be happening! My son, of all people, is resorting to such desperate measures?
Yes, this is your son doing what he has to do. You treated me like an accessory, like a trophy to show off. You wanted to brag about having a doctor for a son, but what's it worth if I'm just a failure now? This attitude, Mom, it reflects on both of us. We're definitely related.
Don't you dare compare me to you. I'm from an elite family. I'm wealthy and successful.
Mom, that's really pathetic. You need to stop bragging about your relatives and start focusing on your own achievements instead.
Shut up! How dare you speak to me that way?
Let's face the facts together. You need to pay back the $200,000, and I'll take care of my own debts. I'll communicate that clearly to the debt collectors, too.
$200,000? There's no way I can afford that. Please, just find some way out of this mess.
You've already exhausted Dad's inheritance. You should have thought ahead. And if you don't, this is the consequence you face. Honestly, it's not my place to say it, but someone had to tell you.
No, I can't handle $200,000 in debt. It's far too much to deal with.
Then I guess it's time to cut off contact. We'll both be better off separated.
Wait, you can't just leave me like this.
I see. So you hurried to return the ring and ended up getting into a serious accident, breaking your arms in the process. Now you're looking at a month of recovery, and your car was completely totaled, and the ring was rendered a total loss in the fire.
Please help me.
Well, that's really the only way to put it, isn't it? But let's be clear. This situation is the result of your own actions. You'll have to figure out how to deal with this yourself.
Don't say something so cold. You must have enough income to support Cooper, right?
I'm barely getting by. He managed to earn a measly $300 a month from his reselling side hustle, which was helpful. but my income is below average, so I can't provide you with any financial assistance.
But paying back $200,000 in debt in this state is absolutely impossible. The car is destroyed, and my assets are gone. I can't live like this. Every day, the debt collectors come knocking, and my only son has vanished. How am I supposed to keep going?
It's all right. Cooper will come back here soon enough.
What do you mean by that?
I contacted Cooper and introduced him to Dave, the debt collector. I decided that Cooper couldn't get away without facing this, and they both might get some legitimate job opportunities. So let's work together to pay off this debt, all right?
Wait, are you saying you sold us out to the debt collector?
Well, it's a reasonable demand to ask for the money that was lent. You both signed those documents, so it's all in writing.
And jobs, they're probably some shady work, right? I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want to work.
You're not a child anymore. Haven't you enjoyed living off other people's money for long enough? Maybe it's time you learned what it's like to earn your own.
How irresponsible of you!
I hear the work can be quite physically demanding, so I hope you give it your all.
You traitor! Supporting the debt collector like this?
Traitor? That's quite an accusation coming from someone like you. I don't want to hear that from a thief.
How can you call me a thief? You know that I've always provided for my family. I didn't choose this situation. It just happened. And now you turn your back on me?
Providing for your family? Is that how you see it? By buying a diamond ring worth $200,000 on someone else's credit card? You've been living in denial. How long did you think you could keep this up?
You don't understand. I had to show off. I had to maintain appearances. It's what everyone expects of me.
And look where that has landed you, on the brink of bankruptcy and facing daily harassment from debt collectors. Is it worth it? Was the status worth ruining your life over?
Maybe you don't realize this, but the pressure I faced was immense. I had to keep up the facade, and now it's all come crashing down. Do you have any idea what that's like?
I do understand. You put yourself in this position. You're the one who prioritized appearance over reality, and now the consequences are here to stay.
Then what am I supposed to do? I can't just roll over and accept this fate. I refuse to let it end like this.
You have no choice. Accept your reality and start taking responsibility. It's time to grow up and face the music. You can't keep running away from the truth.
Grow up? Easy for you to say. You're not the one who's going to be dealing with this. You're not the one facing the debt collectors every day.
No, I'm not. But I'm here to help you face it. I may not be able to fix everything, but you'll have to take some steps yourself. Start by accepting the reality of the situation.
Accept it? How can I accept that I'm drowning in debt with no way out? That my own son has abandoned me?
Cooper has not abandoned you. He's trying to navigate this mess just like you. He might need some time to figure things out, but he'll be back. In the meantime, you need to make changes.
I don't know how. What can I possibly do to make things right? It feels hopeless.
You can start by taking that job. It might not be ideal, but it's a step towards regaining control over your life. You have to fight back, or you'll lose everything.
How can you be so sure that this will work? What if it all goes wrong?
Nothing in life is certain, but you have to try. You can't just sit here wallowing in self-pity while your situation worsens. It's time to act.
Fine, I'll consider it, but I'm not promising anything. I can't just throw myself into something without knowing what it entails.
That's fair. Just remember, if you don't take any action, you'll end up with nothing left. No sun, no money, no dignity. Think about it. Jen found herself trapped in a grim situation, burdened by an overwhelming debt of $200,000. It was a weight so immense that it consumed her every thought, draining the very essence of her being. The burden was like a thick, suffocating fog that clouded her mind, leaving little room for hope or optimism. After her discharge from the hospital, Jen, along with her son Cooper, was sent to a workplace that had been arranged by a loan shark. This wasn't just any job, it was a cruel lifeline, a reminder that their lives were no longer their own, but pawns in someone else's game. The factory they were sent to was the embodiment of misery, a place where each day felt like an eternity. The factory was a place of relentless noise, the air thick with the sounds of machinery, the clanging of metal, and the hum of workers who shared in their suffering. It wasn't just the physical labor that drained them. It was the overwhelming sense of hopelessness that seemed to hang in the air. The workers moved like zombies, faces etched with exhaustion, their bodies broken by the monotonous demands of their tasks. Jen and Cooper trudged through each day, their faces drawn, their movements stiff and robotic. They were not working in a place of industry. They were trapped in a place of despair, where every minute felt like a lifetime. The work itself was grueling, each task designed to push their bodies to the limit. There was no mercy from their overseers. The factory was a place where there was no room for mistakes, where the smallest error was met with a harsh reprimand, or even a harsher punishment. Workers were berated, humiliated, and worked to the bone with little regard for their well-being. Every mistake was met with the shrill voice of a supervisor who seemed to take pleasure in reminding them of their place in the system. The factory felt like a prison, and Jen could see no way out. She and Cooper were stuck in this cycle, grinding away for a debt that seemed impossible to ever pay off. No matter how much they worked, the looming figure of the loan shark haunted their every waking moment. Each day felt like a repeat to the last. The sounds of the machines, the hum of the assembly lines, and the heavy footfalls of the workers became the soundtrack to their existence. Jen and Cooper worked under the oppressive gaze of their supervisors, their every move scrutinized, their efforts rarely acknowledged. The hours dragged on endlessly, each one longer than the last, and every moment seemed to stretch out indefinitely. The clock on the wall seemed to move in slow motion, as though time itself was mocking them. It wasn't just the grueling work that wore them down. It was the realization that they were stuck in a seemingly endless loop. The weight of the debt, the constant pressure to meet quotas, and the lack of any hope for escape all combined to create a suffocating sense of despair. Jen began to wonder if they would ever be able to repay such an insurmountable debt. The thought of it was overwhelming, and every day seemed to bring them further away from the possibility of ever seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. No matter how many hours they worked, no matter how much they sacrificed, it felt like the mountain of debt was insurmountable. The money they earned barely made a dent in what they owed, and the loan shark's demands grew more and more pressing. Each time they thought they were close to repaying the debt, another setback would occur, setting them back even further. The sense of hopelessness was all-consuming, and Jen began to fear that they would never escape. The factory was a place where time moved slowly, but the days seemed to blur together, indistinguishable from one another. It was a place where there was no respite, no relief, no hope. The workers were treated like machines, their bodies pushed beyond their limits, their spirits crushed under the weight of their circumstances. Jen and Cooper felt like they were losing themselves in the monotony, their identities swallowed by the relentless demands of the factory. They were no longer individuals, no longer people with dreams and hopes. They were nothing more than cogs in the machine. their lives dictated by the whims of the loan shark and their employers. It was in the midst of this crushing despair that something unexpected happened. A glimmer of fortune appeared, like a distant star in the night sky, offering a sliver of hope. Cooper, after years of struggle and hardship, found himself on the winning side of life. It started with a stroke of luck, a fluke that seemed almost too good to be true. Cooper had hit the jackpot with horse racing, a stroke of fortune that allowed him to pay off his $200,000 debt in full. It was as though the universe had finally smiled upon him after all the hardship he had endured. The crushing weight of the debt was lifted from his shoulders, and for the first time in years, Cooper felt a sense of freedom. The victory in the race was more than just money. It was the chance to break free from the shackles of their miserable existence. For the first time in a long time, he had a chance to live a life that wasn't dictated by fear and debt. Cooper's newfound financial freedom was like a breath of fresh air, a stark contrast to the suffocating existence Jen and he had been living. With the money he won, Cooper was able to pay off the debt that had haunted them for so long. It must have been an incredible feeling to finally break free from the factory, to walk away from the grueling work in the oppressive environment. The factory had become a symbol of their suffering, a place that had stripped them of their dignity. And now, for Cooper at least, it was a distant memory. He was free, liberated from the very thing that had held them both captive for so long. But while Cooper's fortunes had changed, Jen was left behind, still trapped in the same grim reality. It was almost cruel how quickly fortunes could change. As Cooper celebrated his newfound freedom, Jen remained stuck in the factory, still working day after day to pay off a debt that seemed impossible to overcome. The disparity between their situations was striking. While Cooper was now free, Jen was still shackled by the weight of her past mistakes. It was as if fate had chosen to reward one person while punishing the other. The contrast between their lives must have been painfully obvious to Jen, and she must have struggled to come to terms with it. It was during this difficult time that Jen reached out for help. She was desperate, overwhelmed, and scared. She had always believed that Cooper would be there for her, that they would face their struggles together, as they always had. But when Jen called out for help, Cooper made the heartbreaking decision to sever ties with her. He felt that it was necessary to cut the connection, especially since he believed that Jen had only seen him as a status symbol rather than a true friend. His decision must have been agonizing. He had finally found freedom, but at the cost of abandoning the person who had once shared in his struggles. Jen must have been devastated when she realized that Cooper, the person she had relied on for so long, had chosen to abandon her. The feelings of betrayal must have been overwhelming. She had always believed that their bond was unbreakable, that no matter how tough things got, they would always be there for each other. But now, Cooper had made his choice, and Jen was left to pick up the pieces of her shattered world. The loneliness must have been suffocating. Jen had lost the one person who had truly understood her pain, and now she was left to navigate a world that felt empty and cold. As Jen sat alone in her thoughts, she must have been consumed by a whirlwind of emotions. Anger, sadness, and betrayal must have collided within her. How could Cooper, the one person who had shared in her suffering, turn his back on her now? Was she angry at him for abandoning her? Or was she heartbroken? The loneliness she felt must have been unbearable. And the realization that she was now completely alone must have been more crushing than any of the physical burdens she had faced. The emotional toll of the betrayal was immense, and Jen must have wondered how she would ever find the strength to move on. The feelings of betrayal were profound. Jen had always believed that her bond with Cooper was unbreakable, that it could withstand any storm. But in the end, it had shattered under the weight of life's cruel realities. The emotional scars from this betrayal would likely stay with Jen for a long time. As Cooper moved on to a better life, Jen was left to pick up the pieces of her shattered existence. She had lost more than just her financial security. She had lost the person who had been her closest companion, the one person who had truly understood the depths of her struggles. Jen's journey was far from over, but whether it would lead to redemption or further despair was uncertain. The path ahead was unclear, but one thing was certain. Jen's story would be shaped by the scars of betrayal, loneliness, and the unrelenting weight of the debt that had once threatened to destroy her. Whether she would rise from the ashes of her shattered life or sink deeper into despair remained to be seen. But in that moment, Jen knew one thing for sure. She was no longer the person she once was, and the woman who had survived the hardships of the past would have to find a way to navigate the future. Meanwhile, my own life couldn't be more different. I am currently relishing the joys of living alone, a stark contrast to Jen's plight. The tranquility of solitude allows me to savor the freedom that comes with it. Every day, I experience the happiness of spending my hard-earned money solely for my own enjoyment and comfort. I have the privilege of being able to make choices without having to consider anyone else's needs or desires. I can decide how to decorate my space, what to eat, and how to spend my time, all without anyone else's input. This autonomy brings me immense satisfaction and a sense of pride. Living alone, I've been able to create a space that is entirely my own, a reflection of who I am and what I enjoy. I can choose the colors for my walls, the artwork for my shelves, and the style of furniture that best suits my personality. I can surround myself with the things that bring me joy and comfort, whether it's a cozy reading nook in the corner, a kitchen stocked with my favorite snacks, or a living room that feels like an extension of myself. The independence I enjoy is liberating. It allows me to shape my home to fit my desires and to make each moment of my life feel like an opportunity for self-expression. There is a profound joy in knowing that I am responsible for my own happiness. I get to make the decisions that define my life, and I don't have to answer to anyone else. Every day, I curate my own experiences, choosing the activities and moments that bring me peace and fulfillment. Whether it's indulging in a hobby, treating myself to a nice meal, or simply enjoying the peace and quiet of my home, every moment feels like a personal triumph. I can spend my evenings curled up with a good book, binge watching a favorite show, or pursuing creative projects without any interruptions or demands from others. There's no one to tell me what I should do or how I should feel. Each day feels like a blank canvas, ready for me to fill with whatever I choose. In contrast, Jen's life is entirely different. She is trapped in a situation where her every move is dictated by forces beyond her control. The weight of her responsibilities and the crushing burden of her financial debt have taken away her ability to enjoy even the smallest moments of freedom. Jen's days are consumed by the oppressive reality of living under someone else's thumb, and the choices she once had are now a distant memory. Instead of choosing how to spend her time, she is forced into a grueling routine dictated by the need to survive. She no longer has the luxury of personal space or time, and the joy of living is no longer hers to enjoy. Living alone has its challenges, of course. There are moments of loneliness, times when I wish I had someone to share experiences with. There are times when I yearn for the company of a close friend or a loved one to share a conversation or enjoy an evening out. But these feelings are fleeting. They come and go like waves, and they never overpower the overwhelming sense of freedom I have. The moments of solitude allow me to truly appreciate the peace that comes with being by myself. I am able to focus on my own needs and growth without the distractions or responsibilities that come with living with others. I am free to make decisions that are solely based on what I want, not what someone else needs or desires. This is a rare and precious gift, one that I value more and more each day. I know that not everyone enjoys living alone. Some people crave the company of others, seeking out social connections and finding comfort in shared spaces. But for me, the joy of solitude is unmatched. There's a peace that comes from not having to accommodate anyone else's schedule or preferences. It's not that I don't value relationships or human connection. On the contrary, I deeply appreciate the people in my life, but the beauty of living alone is that I can choose when and how I interact with others. I am in control of my own time and energy, and I don't have to compromise on my own needs to accommodate someone else's. The contrast between Jen's situation and mine could not be starker. Jen's life is defined by the weight of financial struggles, and her every action is a response to the demands placed upon her, whether it's the relentless pressure of repaying a crushing debt or the emotional toll of betrayal. Her existence is shaped by forces that are outside of her control. In contrast, my life is characterized by a sense of fulfillment and contentment. I am able to take pleasure in the small things, the warmth of a cup of coffee in the morning, the satisfaction of completing a project, or the quiet enjoyment of an evening spent reading or watching my favorite shows. There's no looming burden of debt or disappointment hanging over me. Each day feels like a new opportunity to embrace life's simple pleasures and find joy in the small moments. Jen, on the other hand, seems caught in a perpetual struggle. Every day, she faces the harsh reality of her debt and the emotional scars left by those who have betrayed her. She's been left to navigate a world that feels cold and unforgiving, where even the most basic needs seem out of reach. While I get to enjoy the luxury of making choices that reflect my desires, Jen is forced to live within the constraints of a life that has been dictated by her past decisions and the decisions of those around her. The emotional toll of Jen's situation is far beyond what I can fully understand, though I can try to imagine it. The betrayal she feels from Cooper, the person she once thought she could rely on, must be suffocating. To have someone you love and trust walk away when you need them most is a pain that I can only hope to never experience. It's a betrayal that cuts deep, leaving scars that might never fully heal. And while I do experience moments of loneliness, the reality of being abandoned in the midst of such hardship must feel like an insurmountable mountain. Jen's emotional state is shaped by a combination of grief, disappointment, and betrayal, and there's no clear path out of that emotional maze. Every day, she must confront the pain of her circumstances with no real sense of escape or relief. For me, my life feels like a gentle current, moving forward at my own pace. I am in control of my own direction, and I can chart my own course through the world. While there are challenges to face, they are far less intense and less overwhelming than what Jen faces on a daily basis. The challenges I face are of my own making, whether it's deciding how to manage my time, maintaining relationships, or navigating the ups and downs of work and personal goals. They are challenges I feel prepared to tackle, with a sense of agency and control over my decisions. But even as I enjoy the tranquility of my life, I cannot help but think about Jen and the immense burden she carries. I wonder if she will ever find a way out of the darkness that has consumed her, or if she will be trapped in her current circumstances forever. It's hard to imagine what it must be like to feel so powerless, to be so weighed down by circumstances that you can't control. Jen's life serves as a stark reminder of how quickly things can spiral out of control and how unpredictable life can be. The choices we make and the paths we walk can lead us down vastly different roads. For Jen, it seems as though the road ahead is filled with obstacles that seem insurmountable. While for me, the road feels wide open, filled with possibilities. In reflecting on both Jen's plight and my own, it becomes clear that life can take many different paths. While Jen is ensnared in a web of debt and betrayal, I am reveling in the freedom of solitude. The contrast between our experiences highlights the unpredictable nature of life and the different outcomes that can result from the choices we make and the circumstances we find ourselves in. It's a reminder that life's journey is rarely straightforward, and the paths we choose can lead us to vastly different destinations. It's also a reminder of the power of choice. While Jen's life is defined by circumstances she couldn't control, I have been fortunate enough to carve out a life that reflects my values and desires. The freedom to choose is a privilege, one that I don't take lightly. I recognize that my independence and the life I lead are not guaranteed for everyone, and that many people, like Jen, find themselves trapped by circumstances that feel beyond their control. Ultimately, the journey through life is shaped by the choices we make, the paths we choose, and the people we surround ourselves with. Jen's story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the fragility of life and how quickly things can change. For me, it's a reminder to appreciate the freedom I have and to not take it for granted. Life can be unpredictable, and the experiences we go through are often shaped by forces outside our control. But in the end, it's how we respond to those challenges and how we navigate the twists and turns of life that defines us. As I reflect on the contrast between my life and Jen's, I am filled with a sense of gratitude for the autonomy I have and the opportunities that lie ahead. But I also carry with me a sense of empathy for Jen, knowing that life is not always fair, and that we are all at the mercy of circumstances that we cannot always control. The paths we walk may diverge, but the experiences we share as human beings can help us connect and understand one another in ways that transcend the boundaries of our individual lives.
I can't do this with you anymore.
Huh? What are you on about all of a sudden?
I'm saying that I can't handle being married to an ugly woman like you any longer. And honestly, why did we even get married in the first place? You're definitely one of the worst choices I've ever made.
Are you serious about that? Don't you feel you're being a bit rude with that statement?
Actually, I don't feel anything, because I know that everything I'm telling you right now is the truth. You're an ugly woman, so I'd like to divorce you as soon as I can. Please and thank you.
Huh? Please and thank you for what? Recently, we haven't even been talking to each other much, and now you've just come out of nowhere with this childish attitude? Shouldn't you at least be thinking about talking this all over face to face first?
Life is too short to be doing things like that. And the time we've already had with each other is all but a huge waste. I don't even have the time to come talk with you anymore. You understand me?
So you really do want to get a divorce then? Is that what'll make you happy after all this time?
Oh, I'm telling you, it'll mean the world to me. I've even gone ahead and gotten the divorce paper all filled out and everything. If you can come and fill your own parts and hand it in for me, then we can finally say goodbye to this unfortunate marriage.
You've been telling me these past few days you were very busy, but it seems you still had time to get all that work taken care of, huh? I don't have a clue what's happening right now, to be honest, but I guess there really is no other option. Can you at least tell me why you want this divorce?
I told you, you're ugly.
I'm sure that my face has not changed much during the 5 years we've been married. Are you sure this isn't just about you cheating on me with some younger, cuter girl or something like that?
Well, you might actually be right about that. I do have myself another girl, and she's a far more important girl than you. Like I said, marrying you really was an awful choice, and so I want to fix that by getting rid of you right here, right now.
Well, when you put it like that, I really have nothing I can say in response. If it's a divorce you want, then that's what you'll get. I'll make sure to sign my parts of the paperwork, but I won't be turning it in until I have the chance, okay?
Just as long as you get it taken care of soon. I want to hurry and turn my life around with more of this amazing girl of mine.
And I feel the same way of not wanting to overstay my welcome with you. I'll make sure to get this all taken care of in a timely manner for you. Well, thank you for everything up until now. I'll make sure to contact you about anything that happens between us after this as well.
You're not coming back to my house again, right?
Huh? What are you talking about? I plan to still come back home once I finished work for today.
Why do you plan on coming back here after we've already gotten divorced? This is my apartment. I don't want you here.
Huh? Your apartment? Hold on, I think you have things a little mixed up here. I want to know why you keep coming back every day. It's not like we're married anymore, and all you are to me now is my ex-husband. So, why?
Why are you asking me? I wanted you to get out of this place the moment you handed in that paperwork, and I'm sure that hurt, but please just go away. I'm getting really close to losing all my patience with you.
What patience are you talking about, Joseph? You're the one that had been cheating on me and then decided to ask for a divorce over text. There's no way you've done any of that in good conscience, right?
No, I can't do this. I'll have to tell you straight then. I plan to have my new girl here, so get the frick out.
Wait, are you really saying that right now? Are you really telling me to get out of there?
I made that pretty clear, didn't I? This is my apartment, so get the hell out, you ugly dog.
Well, I guess there was no helping you getting this angry over a simple mistake. I'll do as you wish and get out of here. But I wonder if that means you'll be able to continue living here afterwards.
Huh? Do you even understand what you're saying? My girlfriend and I really want to start our new lives here, but you're still coming back every day after work, and that's putting a stop to my plans. So quit it and go away like the loser you are.
Loser? Who did I lose to?
You lost to my girlfriend, who's way better than you in all aspects, and since I've gotten my way in the divorce, I'm the winner as well.
But what if this is something where there's no clear winner or loser just yet? If you really want to look at it that way and pick the winner, perhaps I'm the one that's won after breaking free from a butthole like you.
Say whatever you'd like. Anyway, she's gonna be moving into this place tomorrow.
So you even set all of that up without asking me. Alright then, I'll grab all of my things and get out of there for ya.
Hurry up and get on with it. I still have no idea why it's taken you this long to realize that. Did you really have that much trouble understanding that I've gone and divorced you and have thrown you away?
You think so? I never thought all of this as you throwing me away, but I'd be careful how you're viewing all of this, okay?
Then what was this to you? Did you think that after we got divorced that you'd just be able to live in my apartment for however long you wanted? I'm telling you that from tomorrow, this place will be where my girlfriend and I will start our new lives together, so I wanted you out of there by the end of today.
Then I'd like you to pay the $8,000 rent for that place, please.
What?
I'll do as you wish and leave the apartment. But do you think you'll be able to pay this month's rent there? Do you really understand the situation you're about to be getting yourself into?
You're a frickin' idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about.
What do you mean? I'm just saying that by all the things I do know, I can tell you'll have a real big problem trying to pay to stay in that apartment.
Seriously? Of course I can pay for this place. This won't even be as bad as the loans that you have to keep on paying off. And if need be, I can just take out a loan myself to pay the rent here.
Wait, what are you talking about when you say paying off a loan? What?
Oh, shut up, please. Why do you want to start talking to me about all this now?
It's not like I actually care to talk about any of this, but
I'm telling you that it's a really good idea to get out of here sooner rather than later. I can already tell you that you have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to my apartments.
Huh? Well, whatever, I guess. I understand. You're sure about this, though, right?
I've been very sure this whole dang time. The only person that has been having trouble dealing with all of this has been you.
I wonder about that. Well, just know that I'm not paying for this month's rent, okay? I'll make sure to change the name on the apartment over to you as well.
It's always been me, you dunce. Maybe next time you should try and think a little harder before trying to talk with me. I'm sure it hurts too much to think correctly, knowing that you've lost everything, though.
I'm the loser? Right.
I'm planning to live in this apartment for as long as I want with my girlfriend, so just get lost already.
I'm going to leave, but just be aware that you'll start having to pay $8,000 a month from now on. This will be my last time warning you of that.
I've been paying $200 a month for this place, so there's no way you're telling the truth. Now stop trying to play games with me and get out.
So that $200 is the reason you're thinking all of this. I fully understand you now. Well, I'm gonna get going. Goodbye forever. Why do you want to talk to me now? I have nothing I care to talk with you about now. And actually, I'm still in the office working.
I want to ask you about the truth regarding the rent here.
Rent? Ah, you're finally come around to understanding that.
No, I'm still very lost. I got a really strange bill in the mail today, and I have no idea what any of this means, so I wanted to ask you if, if this was some kind of a scam.
Strange bill?
I just got a bill asking me to pay $16,000, and I have no idea what this is all about, so I had to talk to you. It has my name and information all correct here, but why? It says that this is for the rent.
Joseph, you still have no idea what's going on?
Huh?
That's what I was talking about last month before I left the apartment. That's how much it costs to live in that apartment for 2 months.
The rent for this place? What?
I told you last month when we were talking about that rent, it would cost you $8,000 a month and that I would no longer be covering it. That's why now you're going to have to pay $16,000 for this month. That's all that bill is for. So, why are you having to talk with me about it after a month has gone by?
Hold on a second. So this is really how much it costs to rent this apartment? You're saying that we've been paying $8,000 to live in this place? Really?
That's exactly right.
I seriously never thought that you were telling me the truth. I just assumed that I was paying off a loan this whole time. How the hell have you been paying for this every month?
Loan? Why would I ever have us move into a place like that if I couldn't pay for it? Also, I have something else to tell you about all of this. There was a huge difference between the amount of money you brought in compared to what I was bringing in. That's why when it comes to the rent, I was paying for all of it. I just assumed, though, that when you started living with me, you would have understood the fact that I was making more than you.
Is that true? I don't remember you ever telling me any of this.
Well, that's the reason why I've been the only one paying the rent. But that was fine. After all, I was making bank, so affording that place for us was nothing. Well, I have no idea why, but you always thought that for some reason that apartment, that really insanely nice apartment, costs $200 a month. Well, now I know what you were talking about every time you said you paid the $200. You were talking about paying what you thought was the rent.
So you were talking about the rent and not a loan. I never once thought that after you left I'd be getting a bill asking for this much rent. Why $8,000? Didn't they accidentally add one too many zeros here?
Well, even if they did add an extra zero, you still wouldn't be able to afford the place. I can't believe you thought that you only had to pay $200 a month for that.
Didn't you tell me that though a while back? You said that it was fine to pay only $200 a month on the place.
That was me talking about the part you owed me for the rent. I remember now. However, it seems that you thought that meant the apartment only cost $200 a month. And so that's why you felt like you paid the rent? Because of that $200 a month you gave? Even though I was paying the other $7,800? That's way too funny to be a real excuse here.
Wait, what the hell is actually going on?
Huh?
Are you sure this bill wasn't just from a scam that was trying to scam me out of $16,000? That's what's been going on. This bill in my hand is just some bullcrap that you tried to pull on me, huh? There's no way I'd been paying for this place all this time if the rent was $8,000, right? I'm not gonna pay for this, okay? I don't believe your scam one bit, you loser.
Well, you don't have to believe what I'm saying, but as you can see on that bill, payment address is to the realtor company, right? So why would I have you be paying that realtor if I wanted the money? Are you seriously not thinking that straight right now? Why do you always act like I have no idea what I'm talking about?
Crap, so this really is the real deal then? There's just no way that I should be having to pay $8,000 a month for this place. This is twice the amount I'm making a month.
I see. Then why not leave the place?
Huh? You think it's that easy?
You really wanted to live there no matter what I said before, and that's why I made you the sole renter of that place. But if you can't pay it off, you're gonna have to leave soon, right? Well, of course, you're still gonna have to pay off the rent for this month and last month. I wonder if you'll be able to handle all that money in one payment. And another thing, since you're leaving in the middle of the year, you're gonna have to pay a fine for breaking the contract. Good luck dealing with all that on your own, okay?
Wait, I have to pay a fine as well? I wonder if there's something else I can do. Even having to just pay off 2 more months of living here, I don't want to pay that much.
Ah, and this is another thing, but you'll still have to pay off the settlement you owe me.
Huh?
I want it all paid to me really soon, okay? But I have some doubts that'll happen at all because of how much money you already owe and how little you make.
A settlement? Why are you talking about that now? Why do I have to pay you for everything? You're saying that I have to pay you, right?
Well, this isn't something out of the blue, right? The whole reason for a divorce was because you cheated on me, correct? Well, I'm not saying that I didn't have reason for wanting to leave you besides that, but still. The main reason for the divorce was you cheating on me, and that's what led to me asking for a settlement from you. And so with that, I'm expecting you to find some way to pay me for that. If you think about it, this was all gonna happen regardless, right?
So really? You're gonna ask me to pay a settlement to you?
Well, I had asked this a month ago from you actually, and you should have gotten a notice in the mail from my lawyer.
Huh?
Ugh, it doesn't matter. All that I really care about now is getting my money from you. But luckily, you're still young enough that I guess I can wait a while for you to get everything to me. I've been preparing myself for this, but I'm sure you still have a bit of preparing to do now. If you'd like, I can have my lawyer come over and see you sometime, and he can explain everything again.
Your lawyer? Do you really have to do all that to me?
Well, good luck, Joseph.
Wait a sec! I can't even pay off all this rent and now you expect me to pay you as well? Even if you are just messing with me, I can't ever pay that much off! Do you not understand how terrible of a situation I'm already in?
I do understand, but what does that have to do with me? If anything, this is all on you for not understanding your own situation before divorcing me and kicking me out of my own apartment.
But can't we at least discuss this in person?
In person? I have nothing else to discuss with you. I can understand wanting to take the time to talk this through back when we were married, but now we're just strangers to each other. And also, I really don't care to have anything to do with you for the rest of my life, nor should I have to. I suppose your best bet now is to take out some loans and borrow the money to pay everything off, while you still have the time. You'll have to make all this quick so that your girlfriend doesn't catch on and leave you.
Rebecca, can you wait for me? I don't want to have to deal with all this on my own. I'm not even going to be able to pay everything off with just my savings. Please, can you help me?
This is what you deserve, bud. You're a piece of garbage and need to understand that. Now, I'm going. I'm sorry about this, but I'm far too ugly to stick around with you. In the aftermath, Joseph was taken to court by the realtor agency for not paying his rent the last couple of months, and was forced out of the apartment complex. And the girl that took Joseph as a man with lots of money and a good future ran away from him the moment she realized the truth. So now Joseph has been left with nothing but the streets as his home. And as for his job in the office, the rumors of what happened began to spread quickly, and soon he found himself without a job as well. On the other hand, Rebecca has gone back to living in another nice apartment all to herself. And now she's begun to understand just how wonderful it is to live as a single woman with all the money she earns. She sees now that it was a blessing to have been divorced by that pile of crap man, and now she has all sorts of fun things to look forward to as a single woman. Of course, she also received her settlement from Joseph, but could this mean he had to take out a loan for it? I'm sure that's the case.